Incoming transmission.
Welcome to Saving Star Trek, a show talking about one of my favorite shows, Enterprise. I am Linda Park. I play Hoshi Sato and also Empress Sato. So enjoy this show. I love that it's finding a whole new life on the streaming services. And you better hit that like button or Empress Sato will not be happy. I mean, she could make a storm happen, and she could really make your life hard. Anyways, enjoy the show, hit that like button, and thank you for being a fan of Enterprise.
Is everyone here? All right. Hello. I think we all arrived in one piece. Greetings to all. It's your buddy Admiral Teague. Welcome to the Season 3 Retrospective. I want to thank everyone here now and everyone who comes through later. And please help us out with likes, follows, tweeting out off the browser that the show's live, hyping later if you like us, and please share and listen to us everywhere. It's good to see everyone who's out there. I want to welcome Gavin Blackburn. I want to welcome JT Kirk, Resolute Germ, Kal-El 164, Kal-El 64. We're back to handles now. Is that what it is? It's the ats. Hello at Buddy Hepburn. Hello at Crimlon. Hello at the Trek Reviewer. Hello to everybody. Hello, Gavin. Did I say the dead man? I said hello to me. Hello to RR. We got a lot of you here tonight. It's good to see everyone. Radioactive out in the chat. Hello, sir. It's good to see you here. It's good to see everyone radioactive. And yes, you know what? The Admiral is indeed on the bridge. And you know what? We got some info for you.
Incoming transmission.
Star Trek Enterprise Season 3 was a trek like none before. It plunges the franchise into uncharted territory, trading the optimistic exploration of its predecessors for a harrowing odyssey based on the events following what we're going to call the 2001 attacks on Freedom. The Xindi Arc, Earth under existential threat, Captain Archer's crew on a desperate mission through the treacherous Delphic expanse mirrored the raw intensity of Battlestar Galactica's survivalist dread and Starblazer's relentless starfaring grit. It took the franchise to a new place, a vengeful, desperate trek like none before. Naive explorer Jonathan Archer becomes a grim military commander with a desperate mission where failure isn't an option. The Xindi Arc began with The Expanse, which ends Season 2, but starts the story of Season 3 and therefore is part of this discussion. As dark as Deep Space Nine's war-torn peaks, it grapples with moral compromises, fractured alliances, and humanity pushed to its breaking point. This is Star Trek stripped of a utopian sheen, a stark analogy to the early 2000 global anxieties, leaving us forever asking, is this strange season still Star Trek? Welcome, everybody. And on my panel tonight, I have with me, as usual, Sean Carter, hello. Resolute Germ, hello, and JT Kirk, hello.
Buenos dias, El Capitan.
We have, there we go. Sorry, buddy. We have with us tonight the Dead Man. We have also with us RRTNZ and Buddy Hepburn. Yeah. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello.
All right, hi. Guys. Everybody wanna say hi and catch us up on what's going on, or should we just jump right in?
I think we should go around real quick.
All right, yeah, let's say hi. All right, let's start with you, Sean. Mr. Carter, how you doing this week, sir? You're actually on the agenda. You were excited about the Enterprise model.
Oh, God, yeah, and I want to thank Buddy Hepburn out there before we do anything else.
He's here with us today.
Yeah. Oh, well, Buddy Hepburn out there here in the pen. Sorry about that.
Here and there.
Sorry, but yeah, Buddy, thank you so much, man, for that video you shared. I forget the guy's name, but if anyone out there is interested, it was basically an enormous 3D printed model of the NX-01.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
yeah, the guy that designed it sent the computer model over to this guy who made it in his apartment, printed it out, and it's like 4 feet long. And the video just goes through the entire engineering of the ship, all the ideas that he had, the similarities to the Constitution class, Kirk's Enterprise, and what a fabulous documentation of that ship. I mean, we could not have hoped for a better description of it, and it was just a pleasure. And Buddy, thank you so much for that, man. I really like that.
It looks like a really enjoyable and fun model, and I was joking around. I said, when you get the 1701D Lego, which is out there, like make sure you glue those 3,200 bricks together. That is going for what is it, $400? That's big money.
$99. It's 3,600 pieces. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Paramount must be loving it.
Though. I'm not going to put the Kregel on.
I want that thing too. I'm gonna figure out a way to get it. However, I also signed up for the contest where you could get one for free signed by Jonathan Fakey Pants.
Ooh.
Yes. I don't know if that increases the value of the Lego or not. But I will
was Marina
take one.
Sirtis, it might go down.
If she put in parentheses pre 2000, like would it then if she could you do me a favor? Could you date this one, because I feel like at some point in the future you'll make an unfortunate statement.
My hope though for that model,
Oh wow!
$400. The bricks of gold press platinum in the ship's
Incoming
vault
trans-
be real.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
Oh, we got the first one. We got it right. Thank you, Radioactive. Welcome back, Mr. Kata. Mr. Kata.
Thank you. Welcome back.
You do use that handle just a little bit on some things.
Oh, it's on. Yeah, it was like an old Xbox thing. It was Mr. Kotta, Kotta. But everyone used to call me "Welcome Back, Carter." I'm like, that wasn't his name.
I think it was Gabe Cotter. That was a fucking fun. That was a fucking funny show.
It was.
And
It was really good.
of all places, takes place in Brooklyn. They clone it for Head of the Class.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the same show, but trying to be serious. This is the show that gave us John Travolta, guys. Sean and I are old. We've seen some shit. We remember Henry Winkler young. Weird stuff. So, yeah, we have the Star Trek Lego model out there. Everyone's talking about that one. Pricey, but everyone's pretty excited. And then the other thing would be, I haven't had the enthusiasm to watch it. And by the way, thank you very much, Radioactive. I haven't had the enthusiasm to watch this one. It has me bummed out, to be honest with you. He had to do it sooner or later. If anything, it means that now it's for real. The people who work for CBS had him on, and I haven't watched the Trek Culture interview yet. I wonder if Sean Ferrick was able to quote unquote keep it in his fucking pants. No, I'm serious. This guy's a wild man. And we'll be having a full talk about the season 3 of Star Trek Enterprise in a minute. We're just setting everything up. Sean Ferrick of Trek Culture is a wild man as far as Star Trek news goes. He has in one day figured out the entire problem of the central non-West and the people who live there and how they can't agree. And there was that day where they blew up a medical satellite, a medical space station. And then first it looked like one side had done it, and then it looked like the other. It was a tricobalt explosion. Remember that confusing day? Well, he took this conflict that's older than the Bible, and he jumped out on one side in the morning, and he was on the other side at night, at which point I had to ask him, what does this have to do with Star Trek? And he called me crazy and blocked me. I would think that if I tried to solve all the problems of humanity up till now in a couple of tweets, people would probably call me grandiose and ask me, like, hey, what does this have to do with Star Trek, Teague? So I don't know. I thought it was a fair enough question, but he's made it to the point now where Trek culture is talking to people about Trek United, which means that it's caught at least some attention from real CBS. They at least see it as a story that they want out there. And I guess when I do watch it, the thing I'll be interested in is if Sean Ferrick goes after him and tries to make him, and hello, John the Beagle Dad. And I am afraid that Sean Ferrick might go after Mike Sussman and ask him, like, you know, where do you stand on this or that particular hot button issue, and force him to answer questions. Because when we saw with the Mary Trump thing was he wasn't playing her games or having any of her bullshit or talking about any politics at all.
Well, the best answer would be what we saw Sydney Sweeney do the other day. They tried to get her to talk about that jeans commercial. She goes, I want to give you the opportunity to respond to that. And she says, when I have something to say, you'll know it. And she didn't even give them any ammunition. That is how you get out of those questions. I applaud Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, well, I mean, we always applaud Sydney Sweeney here. Yeah, I mean, that's usually not what I'm doing with my hands when I see her, but yes, we applaud Sydney Sweeney. She seems to be the cure for everything. It's like when we did that first video about her and people called me gross and gay, I was like, I'm definitely sticking with Sydney Sweeney now. There's something to this. And then, like, by the end of the year, like, everybody's drooling over, and it's like, yeah, okay, where'd that look? Like, I'm not getting labeled that for Sydney Sweeney love anymore. But I guess that's our Star Trek news, that there's another interview with Trek United, about Trek United with Trek culture. I have almost no stomach to watch it. They are insufferable. My question would be if they're going to try to tank the project. Anyone here ever watch Trek Culture aside me? Just anyone on the panel?
I don't.
Not regularly.
No.
I think you're the only one with the stomach.
It's kind of important that I do watch it. Like it's sort of like it's sort of like my job in a way with this channel. Like I have to watch Trek Culture, and I have to say insane things, or I'm not being Admiral Teague, right? And I have to know what new Trek is up to, and so we can't take a chance of like, you know, not knowing, and God forbid they get too far out ahead of us. So Trek United, for all I know, could have gotten wrecked up with a bunch of messed up political questions. I'm not sure if Sean Ferrick possesses the professionalism to do a normal interview. I don't know if his bias for, hey Mark, good to see Mark Hartness. I don't know if his bias for the other Star Trek will ruin his ability to be objective and do a good interview, or if he'll just do as he's told and like try to give more, you know, oxygen to this growing ember. Like, I don't think there's anyone here who isn't surprised by the Star Trek United's success, at least as an ongoing story. It's not a rumor anymore. It's now on CBS official. Jerem, you were like the biggest of skeptics. I'll give you the first word on this one. Thoughts on where they're going with that?
I'm still very skeptical that it will get done in any proper way, but it does look better every day. I'm up to 15% think it actually might happen, and probably just a little less about it should happen. But considering I started at 2 and 3%.
If they made certain assurances right now, I would want it. Like if it was just going to be a one-time movie event, like a 90-minute movie with an option to do another one in like a year or even 6 months. You know, we've gotten to a point with scripted television where I don't know if anyone can really streaming has not worked out over and over, and there's some predictable problems with streaming. Like, for instance, a lot of people have that bad episode 4 to try to make you think that episode 5 is going to be the biggest thing ever, and you have a letdown episode 5. It's like, or episode 3 like has nothing going on. Episode 4 is huge. It's going to pay off in episode 5, and then they sort of like shake off paying it off for 4 more episodes while they leave it hanging in the air. We've seen that happen a lot, and no one has stick the landing on the end of a streaming series totally cleanly yet that I can think of.
That's
1883 maybe.
Oh, what are you talking about? Strange New World season 3. Get it right out of the park. Come on.
Yeah,
dude.
we could end it right there. You're right. We got closure. Everything is as it should be. Yeah, this
When
was
the
a
last
surprise.
time any series stuck the landing, though? Name a popular television program, non-streaming. I can think of one that really stuck the landing. I'm not just talking Star Trek, but other ones too. Like All Good Things. But other than that, there's only one other example I can think of a television program, free-streaming, that really stuck the landing as well, and that's Justified. But otherwise, sticking the landing...
Going way
in
back,
finale
maybe
is
MASH.
almost impossible.
Yes,
Yeah, Matt. Whoa, that's way back.
Very well.
You're going way back, but I think people did like the end of MASH.
The one that did not was Lost. It known for not doing
God,
that,
no.
and we should have known better. That should have been
Well,
a sign.
Well, we
was
still
so-
waiting for the ending for Lost, so we don't know.
We could write one right now. There was a European ship wrecked up on the island where there were also natives. Both sides went to war with each other in some way. Each side invoked their gods, and there's some kind of curse on the island and evil energy left over from voodoo, black magic, and occult ghosts. Boom! We just wrote a better reason why that island is so weird than they could ever come up with. And it's really, you could top of the head it better than they did. Lost stands out as... J.J. Abrams shows Wile E. Coyote theory as far as his job, right? If he doesn't look down, he doesn't fall. He leaves Lost and has Star Trek before Lost ends, so he throws Lost away like the fire and forget garbage it was. Then with Star Trek, you think he's going to show some craft, but no, he's fire and forget about everything. He might have been the discoverer of outright member berries with that Star Trek story. Star Trek 09 to me was The Last Jedi was the first movie. It was really a terrible movie. And just The Rise of Skywalker is the second movie, and The Force Awakens is your last movie, because Star Trek Beyond is terrible, but it's a Simon Pegg movie with a little bit of a story to it, and the characters are at least correct, and they have to pretend they're not doing it, but they actually do go to a planet, which is unusual for JJ and any of these people. We haven't gone to many planets since 09.
Hang on. In Star Trek 209, the characters the heroes don't become outright villains. Whereas in TLJ, they just about do. TLJ is a character assassination on a level that had not been seen before in modern cinema, I think. So TLJ would definitely be a step down from Star Trek 209, which is very, very faint praise indeed. But that's just my take.
Well, that's not JJ.
I think the thing is, we've got the trilogy schematic mapped out. JJ will do 2 or 3 films. One of them will be an outlier from the other 2. And one of them will be deceptively okay. People think that Trek 09 is okay. And to me, it was a nightmare in the theater. And people think that The Force Awakens is kind of okay. And to me, it was a laugh out loud experience where I was they're just falling for the same stuff. But I guess also hello RRTNZ as we do our slow round of greetings. And also we have with us head mod and sometimes panelists. Let's bring him up here. We can see him. I can't. I just can't grab onto him big enough. What's in big enough? Buddy Hepburn is here with us today. Buddy, welcome. You get to be. You're with us on the panel, and it's good to see you.
Howdy, everyone.
How you doing?
I'm doing all right. Just replying to people and looking at the chat.
Welcome.
I haven't seen Lost in some of those other shows because they're a little too old for me. But
they have no staying power. I can't think of any place that has Lost in reruns.
I had to look it up. It started the year before I was born. So.
Oh God!
Wow. Yeah.
So.
Don't worry. It's made as much story progress in the time that we've been talking about it as it did in its entire run. I mean, nothing happened. The most inventive thing about Lost was I think there was a dispute with the cast, so they invented another island where another piece of the plane fell and just ignored the people on Island 1 for a year. And they're like, oh, yeah, you want to hold out? How do you like a year with no money?
Well,
That to me was the only...
strike intervened.
There was a writer's strike in there somewhere too, and
Yeah,
that was part of their like excuse too for some of their shenanigans. But J.J. Abrams was always style over substance. He was so much more into confusing us with having a visual of someone getting sucked into a jet engine and having the jet engine blow up, while Tom Cruise's almost look-alike blonde-haired cousin Thomas Mapother, who was a cast member of Lost, looks on in shock, and you're just kind of like mystified, like, wait a minute, like that was a weird visual, but then this, like, is that, huh? And then like the next crazy thing happens, like that, like opening part of Lost, like it's like 7 minutes of screaming and explosions with nothing else happening. It's one of the stupidest 7 minutes of television of all time. And also with us, we have the Dead Man. The Dead Man, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Took us a long time to give you your initial intro, but it took us a long time to work around the horn. We have a big panel tonight. It's good to see you. You're here.
Panel. Yeah, it's a big panel. I like it.
Is he walking?
The more the
Are you
merrier.
walking, Dead Man?
The what? No. The name is
you're
more
not walking,
about.
Dead Man.
No, it's the Grateful Dead Man.
Not
Well, you're
Carl.
not walking.
But,
You have like,
what's that?
I was gonna say, like RRTNZ has like tropical ASMR going on behind him. We can hear like whatever birds those are.
Yeah. I'm really sorry. That's just part of living in New Zealand. We have tons of bird noise.
Doesn't the avian suppression? I thought the avians were killed by the interdimensional beings. There are still avians by RRTNZ. Oh, I'm sorry,
Yeah, sorry
Dead
about
Man,
that.
but I think everyone here kind of knows you from the chat, but also like you do Star Trek reviews and play a little bit of guitar and stuff like that on your own channel. Tell people about what you do.
Okay. So twice a week, I do a random review of Star Trek. I have like a random episode generator. So it's not up to me; it's up to fate or whatever you believe in. And I just because I did a Halloween stream last week, last Friday. So I decided to, and I enjoyed it. So I decided to start doing a Friday night. I play guitar and sing. So I decided to do like a unplugged, and I'm using scare quotes.
I can attest to the entertaining nature of this show. I have watched it.
And I've been playing guitar for like 20 years or 30 years, or since the late 90s. But I kind of abandoned the guitar for about a year now, and so I'm trying to get back into it, and I'm trying to just. For me, this whole experience is just therapy for me. All of it. Streaming, playing guitar, talking about Star Trek. I don't have friends that watch Star Trek. I have like 2 friends, and they barely watch it. So I'm enjoying this experience.
Well, here you are. Welcome. And we got audience for Star Trek, which reminds me, I should probably turn on the other part of the feed where I have to manually trigger Bumble. And like, who am I to say anything when I just failed to stick the landing on that one? But let me start that one. Should be coming online in a moment. Greetings to all of you on the Green Band. You know what? You didn't miss
Green
anything.
Machine.
Roman of the Empire is there. Hello, sir. Good to see you, my friend. He was playing a gorgeous black on black Fender Precision J bass mashup that was absolutely fantastic and fun to watch. Anyway, welcome. We're going to discuss season 3 of Star Trek Enterprise. We had an unconventional Star Trek show. It's following up. Basically, what happens is we get that fast forward ending of Star Trek Voyager. A summer goes by, and the show that's kind of lightly lampshaded as non-Star Trek shows up in the form of Enterprise. And like they were like putting right out there, it's like, don't worry about that franchise fatigue. It almost was like people like writing a Batman show. It sounded like the stuff that comes from a Batman writer's room. It's like, this is a darker, grittier Star Trek. It's a little more down to earth. It's a little less lofty. It's like, you won't have to worry about symposiums from Jean-Luc Picard in our new Star Trek show. People are going to eat food in every episode. It'll be real. And like, to a flaw, like they have never missed someone eating food in every single episode. And they have tried to make it a different kind of Star Trek, while at the same time, in the very first episode, we have a Klingon and we use the transporter. Episode 1, we use we have the Klingon, and at the end of episode 2, which is part 2 of Broken Bow, we use the transporter. So I mean, it is Star Trek in all but name. The only thing it lacks is the familiar Star Trek logo. Bummer to a degree on that one. I wonder if they would have rolled it out. They never planned to call the show Star Trek anything. It was Enterprise for 2 years. Star Trek Season 3, Season 3 Star Trek Enterprise. Star Trek comes into the title. I think it was ironic that it starts in Season 3 because Season 3 is so different. I've made a video for channel members about how it's very much like Star Blazers. RR is very much in agreement on that one too. And it's just the whole pattern of it was very different. And I guess the first question I'll ask, and I'll go around the panel, will be, should there be torn from the headlines Star Trek? Should there be Star Trek that's about things happening right now? And I'll start with Sean. Why not? Sean, should there be torn from the headline Star Trek at all? This was about like 8 months old events when it aired, right? Maybe a year and a half.
I think sometimes, yeah. They did that with A Private Little War. They did it with the Let That Be Your Last Battlefield. As long as that's not the focus. And I think it does also help to do that if it's shown it needs to be shown in a science fiction kind of perspective. And it has to be something that's happened in history before. So,
okay,
Private Little Wars, obviously, there's been wars going back through history. So if they can say it and say, hey, there's something going on now, here's a lesson from history that we should have learned.
It's a proxy war like all other proxy wars.
Right, yeah. So, yeah, I think it's okay. It should resonate. And that's what science fiction is driven from. It's a way to talk about current issues in an entertaining and different way without hitting you over the head with it. Gives you a different way to look at something. And I think it helps. It takes you out of the current situation, looks at it similar to a different one, and maybe help you change your mind or solidify your own opinion.
So if we're going to talk about World War II, there's like one level of abstraction because it's a real long time ago. It's decided and there's nothing left in doubt. It was the most popular decision in American history to go win that war. But if you're going to talk about, I don't know, say the election of like 2 years ago, or a year of like 10 months ago, a year ago now, that maybe you have to have a higher level of abstraction or you lean harder into the sci-fi. Like the closer to now, the more sci-fi you have to give it to soften it.
I look at it like this. This is going to sound like a weird way, but if you think about...
You're on the right show.
Yeah, but if you think about like the way the Supreme Court, if you ever listen to a Supreme Court hearing or when they're trying to decide on a case, the justices will usually take whatever's in question, will turn it on its ear, send it into the extreme to test to see if that law or question still holds. Anytime you pass a law, you have to look at it as a measure of the extreme circumstances where that might be applied. And I think that's the best science fiction we get is when that happens. So they'll take something, extend it out to like, wow, well, what, is it, if it's okay for one person, is it okay for 1 million?
Like the Twitter Society in the Orville, where they managed to do a Star Trek-like story that was good.
Exactly, yeah, and I think that gives us the best perspective, and the whole point is it has to make you think. It has to be given to you from all sides and not judge and not predetermine an outcome.
My only caveat to that one before I move on to the Dead Man would be, and by the way, good answer, very, very inspiring. I would just say this, with something like Let This Be Your Last Battlefield, isn't it possible that the question had been lingering in society for such a long time that it was fine to ask that one even though it was still current? It's like it had been the current question of, like, say, every generation of American society. The founding fathers are arguing over it in the Constitution, right? When they're making the Constitution. So
yeah, and the thing about last Battlefield is you can take that situation and it can apply to anything. It doesn't have to be applied to race. It can be applied to ideology. It could be applied to a religion. It could be applied to anything where two groups of people seem to differ.
all right. I would also say with Let This Be Your Last Battlefield, you had that, and with the much closer to real time, the only show on during Vietnam in prime time that talked about the Vietnam War, albeit through the lampshade. What was it? The Bush Wars on your Asian continent in the late 20th century. Yeah. Some kind of comment like that, and Kirk was like, "Nasty business." But it was like, with that one, they took such a high level of abstraction, so removed from the actual nuts and bolts of the story, that, like, okay, they're spacemen going to another planet that happens to have a Vietnam. Like, it's clear that this is a Vietnam analogy, but they're not going at it too hard. We're not, like, sure which side is right or wrong. Both sides would take help from anyone to keep the other side from wiping them out. Although it does seem like the townspeople have been moved to be the bad guys because our point of view is the hill people and they're the ones who are friendly to the Federation. Mm-hmm. And we do that whole proxy war thing where we have the Klingon, and it's an analogy clearly for Vietnam, but it's like the hippie who's going to protest the war tomorrow and his World War II veteran father could both watch that episode, and it's so non-judgmental, condemning only the idea of violence with complete and relenting, aggression, that, like, your hippie son and your World War II dad could watch it together with no conflict. They'd be like, yeah, that was a good story. And, like, even if dad was like, those hill people were right, those hill people were wrong, those damn free-loving hippie hill people, I'm with the townspeople. They may have been dealing with the Klingon. I like those Klingons. But you know what? It was fun and sci-fi enough that it did it.
But if the Klingons had prevailed, we would not have had a Canutu.
No, the Canutu woman was hot, and that was a fun episode. And we have my favorite, the vanilla gorilla unicorn, the Mugatu. It's one of the greatest Star Trek creatures ever. It's like, Bones, it's a Mugatu track. Look out! It's like, all right, no context for this one, but I'm not about to show up the captain. Dead Man, let me ask you that question: should there be torn from the headlines Star Trek?
If you're talking about, like, what is it, Law and Order?
Law and Order is the one that's typically associated with, because they will take a case that's worked for them for, like, since 1989. So there's a format of TV and writers with enough talent to do it. Just, like, it might not be that sci-fi. You know what I mean? Like, the case of the week might not be that sci-fi.
Right. I think that's possible. But one of the things that I want to say is, I'm on a private, like, chat board, like from like early internet days,
like an IRC or something.
Yeah, the BBS or whatever.
Cool.
Thank you, Al Gore.
Still happens. Yeah. and I talk about new Trek or whatever, and a lot of times people say, well, Star Trek has always been progressive or whatever, and they cite these what you're talking about, like Let That Be Your Last Battlefield or Private Little War, and it's always been progressive. And for me, Let That Be Your Last Battlefield, that is, in my mind, preachy. It is.
It is,
and I like
yeah.
TOS is great, and I love TOS, the original series, but it is preachy.
It's an outlier
Especially
season
with-
3 weird episode, so yeah. Like Gene
Yeah.
Roddenberry's not quite as involved. They get real weird in season 3.
But Private Little War is a nice balance in my mind.
What I thought. Go ahead, please finish.
It obviously it's Vietnam, and we can look back at it now and say that it's Vietnam. I wonder what people, I was born in the 80s, so I wonder what people back then thought. Did they see the resemblance, or what were their thoughts?
I guess by the mid-episode discussion where they actually reference it, it snaps it pretty clear.
What did you say? The wars, the
Bush Wars in your
Bush Wars, yeah,
in your Asian continent.
Yeah.
Which just makes it sound like someone invented a new grooming product, right? It's like the Bush Wars. It's like, yeah. Remember when everyone had 70s Bush?
Well, yeah, but then now, in like my generation,
the American market crashed.
Bush Wars, like Iraq and Afghanistan. So we have like Bush. So I'm using quotes again.
I get where you're going with that.
You see what I'm saying? Like
W. Bush Wars.
No, I think it's fine to take from the headlines.
Hello, Chucker Martin.
I think it's fine to take from the headlines, but you gotta, like you said, you don't have to be preachy. And Strange New Worlds and Discovery is so preachy. It's ridiculously, So when I see people,
I would call it instructional. It's beyond preachy, right? It's like instructional. It's like, you will do this or you are a terrible person. The end. It's not even asking.
You're a Yahtzee. Yep.
Yes, you're a terrible pleasure boater.
Yeah. So, and I've gotten into arguments with those people, and it's never. I have a difference of opinion, but it's okay to have that difference of opinion. It's always you're a. Well, there's a guy, Istafovos. You're a whatever. So I think it's fine to take from the headlines, but change it up a little bit.
I know that account. Istafobos is here sometimes, and he's pretty funny. I like the way he turns phrases. Yeah, he does. He knows how to titillate, so to speak. He is a funny ex guy, and I recommend following him. Hey, Lombardi, good to see you made it here. Welcome. Trucker Martin, I said hello to you. Is there anyone I missed? Hello to everyone. Welcome. We're discussing season 3 of Star Trek in its entirety. And Deadman, thank you. And the question moves to Germ. Germ, should there be torn from the headline Star Trek?
You can, but the more generalized you have it, the better. For like what they did in season 3, very, very on the nose, probably a bit too much. As I said, with This Be Your Last Battlefield is probably the way you want to do it. You can't exactly point to one event they're talking about, which really helps, but the more direct out of the headlines it is, the more generalized you have to present it.
Is Last Battlefield, like, in your opinion, like the way to do it? Because the topic that just like standing up, sticking out your finger and saying, I think everyone's born more or less the same, damn it, was like past due for 25 years in 1966, right? Like, it was just, everyone had known this for a while, and there was just a few people like walking around denying it. It was like, it wasn't really a progressive conversation. It would have been a progressive conversation in 1946.
Yeah, you can point to the whole racial thing. You can also point to religion. You can point to any number of things that it could represent. As long as you keep fingers pointing in different directions about what it is and not have it nailed down to one specific topic that can cause an argument.
For instance, new Star Trek defining January 6th as the beginning of like the downfall of all society.
Yeah, exactly. What a freaking joke.
Look, no matter what you think of that day, it was a terrible day. There was terrible things that happened. It was a terrible day for America. It was an American tragedy. So to weave it into your sci-fi fucking show, create a fictional event and make it like so abstract that no one does anything but think. I mean, the thing about Let This Be Your Last Battlefield is they exaggerate it to a point of, you know, it is kind of preposterous. Like, you know, it's like if you turn the black and white cookie 180 degrees around, it's like, you know, you got the other guy, like Beale and Lokai were like pretty much the same. And it's like, maybe like when you hit it with something that obvious, like I said, that one was so overdue that like it wasn't a crazy statement. Like, and Star Trek had done it before, right? Like in Court Martial, Commodore Stone is simply black, but he's Kirk's boss. He's wrong about a few things, but he's not an incompetent idiot. Well, the incompetent idiot's Ben Finney. Go ahead.
What I want to say is, like, a lot of times people nowadays don't realize, like, what was going on back then. And Last Battlefield, yes, they were trying to do, you know, something different and, you know, whatever. But for now, you know, compared to today's standards, it's like, it's too on the nose, I think. That's just my opinion.
No, I agree with you. I think they're fishing.
Yes,
they'll no cause too small for them to give it a huge platform and act like it's a big deal. And like their achievements now, it's like they have to have like this, like they have this like petty achievement board. It's like this petty. Is the first show. It's very petty and pandering. It's like this is the first show with 3 Latinx non-binary you know, characters. It's like no one cares.
Yeah, nobody cares. Yeah,
nobody cares.
I need to see myself in blah blah blah. You know, like I never growing up, I never watched like Terminator or whatever, and thought, oh, I need to see myself in that character. You know, and they'll point to say, oh, well, you're a white guy. Well, okay.
What can I say? Yeah, like mixing the headlines or whatever right into our Star Trek is it. You have to have some talent to do it, I suppose. More, JT, balls in your court. Tell me like about the torn from the headlines Star Trek. What do you think?
Absolutely not under any circumstances. I may be the one here that does not think that last Battlefield episode was particularly strong, and that's fine if people do. But I think it didn't take long for us to see that it does not work out. I can go to TNG and think of half a dozen episodes that were torn from headlines and age very poorly. One of them being season 7 of Force of Nature, where they just decided to say that pollution was bad in the ozone layer, and we're going to make that an episode where nobody can go over warp 5 anymore.
I kind of like that episode.
I absolutely hate that episode. I thought it aged terribly.
Isn't that the one where hundreds of thousands of enterprises appear?
No. This is the one where they try to rescue another Enterprise crew, and this terrorist group of researchers try to like harm everybody to prove that.
The analogy was to like environmental extremism and like Greenpeace extremism.
Well, see, that's
and I don't think any of that was very good. That was very modern day, torn from the headlines, does not age well. And so they just keep doing that over and over and over again. And every time we have one of those, it just is super cringe. I think when you do see good examples of it in Star Trek, you take an issue that is not torn from the headlines, and it's a moral and ethical issue that you have to deal with for generations, right? There's no simple answer. You take a look at the episode where Worf hurt himself with the cargo falling on him, and it damages his spine, and the whole debate is the right about
it is time for the Hekba ceremony.
Yeah, it's time for your medical future, and who has the right to make these determinations, and when are you going to do it? And
they had seen the Terry Schiavo case.
Well, some of that was later than that episode, if I remember right. But it's still
Terry Schiavo is like during George W. Bush's presidency.
Yeah. So you're sitting here just thinking, okay, like this was probably a better way to talk about all this than having a failed electoral candidate be the president of Earth. Right?
That was dumb and pandering and petty and silly and stupid and like and also blink and you miss it with irrelevance for the person too.
Oh, right.
So
I would go saying no for torn from the headlines ever, because I also have zero faith that anybody that they had hired to write that story is going to take a responsible adult discussion on that. Maybe in the 60s they could, not today. I've not seen a writer out there that could do that.
Sean, you're trying to jump in?
Yeah, I was going to say, so JT's right that it all depends on what story you're pulling from the headlines. Like the ones that work are the ones that are humanist stories, or the human condition story. That one about the environment failed because it was about a current political issue. It doesn't transcend backwards or forwards. It was about that point in time and about the environmentalism stuff. I think it failed because of that. But when you take your last Battlefield, we hopefully sane people can agree that kind of weird prejudice that they were showing at an extreme was a human thing. It wasn't anything constructed. You know what I'm trying to say? I think the ones that are more humanist succeed better. And yeah, you can kind of pull it from the headlines in that case if the thing they're talking about is also demonstrated backwards through history.
Like all this, like a trait of humanity is what you're saying.
Yeah.
The people on the other side of the river are bad.
Right. Yeah. But I totally agree that one with the Warp 5 thing was ridiculous. But that wasn't the way to do it.
I thought it was kind of a cool analogy. I guess I'm a flake. I liked that one.
Show, but the message they were sending hidden underneath it was stupid.
Oh, I mean, it was obvious that that's what they were doing. I was like, okay, they're going to be activists this week, or they've got their protest signs out this week.
It had nothing about the problem they were facing. Wasn't a human condition problem. It wasn't an evolution of humans.
All I could think about was a bunch of guys drinking liquor out of styrofoam cups. So like, we're going to write a show about environmentalism.
Yeah.
That's what went through my mind. It's like they were like wasted on the plane when they came up with this one. Mm-hmm. It's like I feel so guilty about flying from LA to New York. Oh, you know what? Give me a cocktail napkin and a pen. I've got an idea. It's like, this is how I wrote the great Tuvix story that I'm going to use. Got the story. It's called Tuvix. It's going to change Star Trek forever. It's going to be great.
Doesn't anyone here
Tuvix
see
is
what we're
a
doing?
troll.
Did anyone see that this is wrong?
Sorry. We've made it
That
to
was my point, but I just don't think when they try to do that, you get good writing. You just don't. And I don't trust anyone in modern Hollywood to ever do it. So the could you do it is merely, to me, a thought exercise because tactically, I don't think you should even entertain it. It's not going to work. Anyway,
no. Before we
thank you
move
for
on,
your attention in this matter.
you're welcome, sir. You know what? It's funny. Gavin Blackburn says my favorite moral discussion in all of Star Trek was pen pals when they discussed the Prime Directive and if they should cut off contact to the little girl. All easy till they hear her distressed voice. That was really good, and that was like great Patrick Stewart acting. You know what's really weird was that little girl grew up to be a pinup girl. That's the chick from what was her name? She was really big around 2000. Nikki Cox?
Oh, was that Nikki Cox?
It's Nikki Cox.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 10.
Well,
don't worry.
Got her own show.
Yeah, it's not like she had a last name that could have embarrassed her or made her sex symbol status any more difficult.
Right.
I don't think she was.
For her, though.
She was like when she was. There was another show. They got back together, the people who created Married with Children, and there was another show, and it was even more grim. It was about like the marriage was even over. It was just like a disaster. It was like even
Ever after, yeah.
That's what it was, yeah. And she was like their Kelly Bundy, and then she ended up having her own show, and then she just disappeared. I don't know.
She was Kelly Bundy, but she was actually a very prude. Kelly Bundy was real slutty, and her character was actually pretty. Just, I think she was a virgin.
Tame by comparison to Kelly, but yeah, they tried to do everything in a different direction than Married with Children, or get sued by themselves for making their own other show. Threshold is a rip. We covered that.
Voice of that puppet in that show.
He might have been. That's right. The guy would flip out and have like out of body experiences where only he would see the puppet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's like, yeah, cocaine's a hell of a drug. That's the '90s. Some of these shows we got, but yeah, like it was a little more easy to enjoy Terry Hatcher, like say in the role, like and recognize her. But yeah, like that little kid, that jellyhead alien, grows up and has a career from that episode. That's now like 35 years old. Like that actress is out there somewhere 50. And that's the weird thing about some of these episodes, is you see the cast now, and it's like they're like all old as hell. But what are you gonna do? Moving on, I guess we'll ask RRTNZ, my friend. Do you think it's ever okay to have like say torn from the headlines Star Trek?
Well, I'll try and keep this quick. So first, the chat is all over this, and there've been some absolute banger comments, particularly from Mark Harkness, Kal-El, and Gavin and Buddy Hepburn about this particular discussion. The chat's really all over it. And with respect, I'm going to disagree with JT Kirk. I'm going to say that you can actually do pretty much anything, provided you do it well, you tell a good story, you put some skill and care into it, and you have balance. And the evidence of this is the TNG episode from season 3, The High Ground, which is a metaphor for, well, it's an allegory for terrorism, right? It explores terrorism from different points of view. It is so pulled from the headlines that the troubles in Ireland was still fucking going on when that episode aired. Data even references the Irish reconciliation, and it handles the questions
of
around
2021.
terrorism, both sides. Yeah, it handles them so well. Well, 1998 was when.
Is that the one where they grab Beverly Crusher, or is that the one where they're all held hostage?
Yeah, the guy even that's the one. The guy even has an Irish name, Finn. right?
Yeah, and then like he's sort of a charming, roguish bad guy until he's an
He
evil,
is
terrible
indeed.
bad guy.
Well, he's got a Bob Geldof vibe to him. Anyway,
So I'm gonna get Led Zeppelin back together and prove you are all wrong about their music, and make some money for the poor people while I'm at it.
Yeah.
Oh dear God!
But that episode is evidence that you can do that if you do it well, and it's a superb exploration of the different sides of questions around terrorism. You know, and Data is because he lacks emotional responses is the character they use to explore that. Where Data says, "But if force is politically expedient, you know, isn't it a better way of doing things?" So that episode is evidence of this kind of headline grabbing done really, really well. But the question to me is not should we be doing pulling it from the headlines. The question is, can we do it with sufficient skill and balance that the audience is presented with these questions and can make up its own mind? And I agree with JT Kirk in that today's writers are not demonstrating that skill.
Nope.
So maybe at the moment we shouldn't. But if it can be done and the capacity and the ability is there, then absolutely it should go for broke. Because there are so many questions, like Jerome was saying, there's so many questions of the human condition to explore. Star Trek is one of the greatest vehicles in entertainment history for that exploration. Then it should be doing it, but it's got to do it right. And Strange New Worlds and Discovery are prime examples of how it's been done wrong.
Fair enough and well said. Well said.
Yeah, that was really well said. Yeah. Thank you, my friend. I guess, and now...
I had a while to think about
before anything else...
Yeah, Jeremy.
An update on Nikki Cox. The poor woman married Jay Moore. That's what happened to her.
Oh, wow. So doubly irrelevant. Wow. It's like Dak Shepard and Kirsten Bell, but without the phony charm.
She married Bobcat Goldthwait after that.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Go Bobcat. Although, I mean, when?
Jake's the clown Bobcat.
It would be very messed up if, like, we found a picture of Nikki Cox and she looked old and haggard now because, like, I was already an adult when I saw the episode where she was, like, what, like 13? And then her WB show is, like, 1999, but that's, like, 8 years later, so she's, like, 21 or something. But that's, like, now, like I guess she's literally, like, 50, 48? Like, the math just couldn't make her any younger?
Yeah, she is 47.
That's not too old. Does she look good still?
Yeah, the images they show aren't bad.
Monica Bellucci looks incredible at like mid-50s. She's maybe 60 now, actually, almost.
Yeah. She's definitely 47, but a doable 47.
Do you have the picture? Can you share it?
Not immediately.
Okay. Well, guys, we'll work on that for you. Buddy, you get to go and talk about this one. Can there be torn from the headline Star Trek, and is there a place for it?
I'm just not convinced that there's anyone writing that can pull it off. Everyone who writes nowadays, if you watch all the modern TV shows, which I try not to watch, really, I like to watch old shows, but it's because everything's written like reality TV. You know, here's the scenario we want to say. Here's the person we're going to use in the story that's going to exemplify our viewpoint, and that person is the hero. And if you are on the opposing side, you're the villain, including the audience. And that's how almost all shows. It's kind of cookie cutter Survivor. We've got these 10 people, and 5 of these people are crummy people, and the 5 people we want you to root for until we kill them all off are the good people.
They're like the better people, yeah.
And then when you get weeded down, then the scenarios start playing off of each other to who they want to win, and it's all contrived. And they take a modern story or a news line and they force that into something that wouldn't fit with the context of a future spacefaring race, in my opinion. the way old Star Trek would have done it was they would have done that, but they would have used another race out there, and the crew and Kirk and Spock and McCoy would be the ones observing this, and you feel how ridiculous those scenarios are through them, right? Like, let that be your last battlefield. Both Beale and Lokai, they were both 100% the same in terms of they wanted the other side to be killed off completely. There was no
They weren't
getting
negotiating,
together.
no.
The only thing that mattered to them was who had the power over the other. Bill had the power. Lokai wanted it. That's the only thing that made them different, besides the physical piece, and that's how they even say you look the same except one of you's on one side, one of you's on the other. It's ridiculous.
That might have been the best moment of the episode, where he's like, how dare you?
Yeah, but the whole point isn't to say you're this side's right, this side's wrong. The point was this is to show as an advanced human race, this is ridiculous. What are you guys doing? And it's to get you to think kind of more in a modern term. It's but they didn't do it on the nose. Same with the Uhura and Lincoln thing. They have that communication back in that actual moment, and we've gotten past that. It doesn't bother me, right?
Yeah, that is true.
Past that as a race, and that was the whole point of that moment. It wasn't to drag up this specific issue as a present current thing. It was to say, this is a thing that we no longer see that way.
Yeah, all our characters were fairly magnanimous in old Star Trek, whereas in the new Star Trek, they're supposed to be magnanimous, but they're consistently petty. So you're right. Like, we can't do that stuff.
Even when they did show moments of that, Kirk, let them die, right? He gets past that, and he's gonna do what is the right thing, and you have to.
Yeah.
He's ultimately gonna do what the right thing is. And that was because of that framework of they're not us, they're better than us, and we strive to be them. That's what they're missing now.
Well said. By the way, just it's an honor to be here with all of you. 46,021 days before the events of Shuttle Pod 1, which happens on this date in 2151. The 9th to be exact. That's one of our This Week in Star Trek stories. So I just thought I'd throw that one out there because I don't think we'll get to that segment, so I'll seed a few of them in. That's a good point. Like, I think Sean might have been right on with if the closer you get to the real world, the further away, like the higher you have to crank up the Star Trek-ness of it. Or it's just not gonna. It's just and the sci-fi level. It's like, if you want to show a society under strain, like, you'd better have, like, I don't know, like a really good threat to to fixate the audience on the exciting part of the show while you make your point in the B plot. Or if your whole show is your moral point, because let's not forget, a lot of these big moral lessons were our B plots too. Like, we're fighting some Klingons, and Keith Richards in space is talking about how he wants to start drinking again in the episode The Neutral Zone, where that guy to me that I think Gene Roddenberry wrote that character like thinking about himself, man. That character is Gene's vision. It's like, maybe they'll freeze me, and when they wake me up again, I'll just have new organs and I'll just start, because that character, man, it's like. Could you imagine showing that episode? No problem, Sean. Could you imagine showing that episode of the 12-step program? Where it's like, this guy smoked, drank, took pills, lived like a madman, had 5 sexually transmitted diseases, and was a lunatic. And when he died, he was a millionaire because he was great at the guitar. And they're like, I understand. What have you done? Oh, well, we fixed them in just seconds. And he's like, hell, Doc, you're pretty hot. You got any whiskey around here? And he's like pulls like an Orville and goes up to like the replicants like, give me 500 cigarettes. Like that guy was such wish fulfillment. Like he got to like, just, does anybody want that guy's total reset at like a 55? It's like he lived the worst possible life.
I could use that reset at 55 right now. God.
I would take it. By the way, also this week in 1967, here's a shocking one. Germ, this is going to shock the hell out of you. November 3rd, 1967, filming wraps on the animated series pilot?
That's kind of early.
Yeah, animation production concludes at Filmation Associates for the unsold pilot, later repurposed. Voice cast includes TOS actors like William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy, making it the first animated Star Trek. Beyond the Furthest Star, Season 1, Episode 1 does not air until September 8th, 1973. I think that's the first Star Trek I watched live. Pretty sure. A lot of people do love TAS. Okay, so hey, back to our questions. I have one for the panel. You know what? This one we could go kind of like a speed round on this real quick. You could give it a few sentences. If you have real passion for one, go for it. I think there's probably going to be a discussion about the Xindi if we could get in it before the end of this. But does anyone want to go with the best and worst episode? Like, I'll prime the pump here. You ready? Azadi Prime, I think, was the best, and Rajan was by far the worst. JT, you want to argue with me that Rajan was the worst episode of the season?
Yes, Similitude.
Similitude at least lightly touches science fiction.
Oh,
I
think
didn't hate Similitude. I didn't
I
hate
actually
Similitude.
hated it. I actively hate Similitude. So
JT's approaching the TV with a whip and a chair for Similitude.
It is a very, very close call between Similitude and E squared, but I think Similitude does take it.
You think E squared is worse than Rajan?
Admiral, can we throw this up in a poll for the chat?
I have a chat poll going, but maybe we'll take a look at it and refresh it. RR, what do you say? What do you got to say?
I know my best right way. Damage. It's got to be the turning point of the season in Archer's character, and it's his descent, his lowest descent. Similitude's close, and that's why I have to push back against JT, because he makes the decision of it's like the Joker says, right? Killing is making a choice, choosing one life or the other. And he does that. Archer does that actively in Similitude. That's why I can't think of it as a bad episode. But Damage is the one where he reaches his moral, what's the opposite of Zenith? Nadir. His moral nadir is in Damage. Yeah. And I
agree.
That, to me, that sold me on Bakula. I changed my whole point of view on Bakula in that one because of the resolve and the grim resolve, and you can see he's emoting in a way that he knows what he's doing is completely wrong, and he hates himself and he hates the choice, but he doesn't. It's like in Serenity, at the end of the film when Mal asks the crew to go on the last sort of adventure that's probably going to kill them, to broadcast a message about Miranda. So I watched the film. It's in my head because I saw it recently, right? And I'll sum it up real fast because I know there's lots of people trying to talk. But yeah. That's the kind of grim determination, but the knowledge that you're making the wrong moral choice, but for the greater good, and that Bakula sold it brilliantly. So to me, it's not the flashiest episode. Got a feel a bit of a space battle, but it's not the flashiest episode. Oh, and a gunfight too on the ship. But, as I say, not the flashiest, but definitely, to me, character-wise, and the show is about Archer, the best. And I shall say no more.
Okay. I guess I'll bring the question to. I think Similitude. The problem with Similitude isn't so much that we don't think Beckett does a good job or he doesn't have like a cool moral arc in that one. It's more like Commander Tucker is messed up. I'm going to inject this silicone breast implant with his DNA, and in a little while it will begin to form into a fully formed human being. And then they throw like the kitchen sink of like weird sci-fi tropes about like cloning at you. It's like there's a case to be made that if you lived in the mirror universe, you would make a clone of yourself every 5 or 6 years and be like, what about myself do I not know?
And to that
point,
you ruin the Doctor, because the Doctor doesn't give two shits about anything ethical.
He wants to see Sim like he is the Doctor from Schwitzouts. Yeah, he is he lives. I like to say Dr. Phlox is a doctor who lives in a black and white world, except for the one little girl in the red dress, kind of a doctor.
I don't see any difference between Phlox and Similitude and Phlox and Mirror Darkly.
A lot of people don't. A lot of people don't.
I won't hammer this one too much. I know you said speed round, Admiral, sir.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
But, that's why I'm so hard on that. Rajin does make my top 5 of the worst. I
think Rajin is absolutely the worst. The chick is okay, though. I mean, I would do the chick. I mean, what does that say, though? Doesn't save the episode.
Just filler.
You know what I would have loved though, honestly, if I like this is all like narrow casting only for the Admiral, like in a Mirror Darkly where Archer has his moment and he's sort of what do you call it like Mirror Archer is angry about the bio of Prime Archer. And he says like all the things that he does that are different. I would have loved it if he would have said like he didn't even have sex with the slug hallucination from Forbidden Planet. Was it called? Whatever it was. Rogue Planet. Yeah. This Jonathan Archer didn't even have sex with the slug hallucination. And then like you'll see over on the wall, it's like he's got like the slug like mounted on the wall. Like that would have been like that just for me have that one because we made too much of like Archer's like perfect female hallucination. They use her as a Suliban. They use her again as something else. I guess what does Rajan have going for it? There's like no. What's the sci-fi to it that she has like Elaine of Troyes programmable DNA that makes her the perfect person to get Archer to talk?
I hate Elaine of Troyes.
Some people just don't like that episode.
It's potato boobs.
Oh, you mean you don't think she's too hot? You know what?
Well,
she's in a crazy
it's not
outfit.
just that. She literally looks like she has like like when you make potatoes.
She does. Oh, she does have a wild like Mylar outfit for sure.
There's like it looks like tinfoil.
No, yeah, she actually looks like, I mean, but I don't mind that effect when they use the material again in Gamesters of Triskelion. So,
Yep.
It depends what kind of potatoes you guys are cooking here. Let's see what Resolute Germ found for us. Oh my! This is way too much plastic surgery already for Nikki Cox. Oh my God! Someone once said to me, "Never Google pretty girls from 20 years ago," but and the person we talked about in that one was Yasmin Bleeth. But this, wow, what a journey it must have been for Nikki Cox to already have this much plastic surgery.
Goodness.
She is so much younger than I.
Ooh.
Well, that's what being married to Jane Moore will do to you.
She looks all right.
She's kind of clowny face. She doesn't look terrible, but it's just that she could only be about 48 and she's had a lot of plastic surgery already. I mean, forget the yabos, okay? I mean, just like the riptic grin.
Tiffany, Amber, Theus, and Saved by the Bell. She did a lot of plastic surgery.
She was at her best when she was in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Remember that show with James Caan?
Not many people can say that.
Con.
Yeah, that was the James Caan and the guy that was married to the Black Eyed Peas chick.
Oh yeah.
Fergie.
Fergie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki Cox looked great in that show. She was matured. She was about 35.
Yep. Yep. The mid 2000s was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That and as our admiral, I can't do the. I don't do.
Bozeman.
Oh, I think we have that.
I don't have. Yeah, I don't have a soundboard. There
That
we
one?
go. Admiral on the bridge, or what on deck or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
he's here.
some of
I
those.
can do Andy Griffith for you, but might take a minute.
Yeah. I don't have sound effects, but yeah, she was okay.
Yeah, she was. It looks like the Admiral's having some problems here. So
Who's the ranking officer?
Yeah,
Is that you? Is that you,
I don't have
Sean?
optimal sound right now. I'm on my
Well, I
backup device for a minute while the first one reboots. That was a drag.
oh, there he goes.
Yeah, a little bit of a drag.
I thought maybe Sean used the Tantalus field to take care of him, to hijack the stream.
No, like Spock, I have no desire for command, but most of my friends are Vulcans.
She's just getting
Just
ready
so
for those rolling
everyone
blackouts.
knows, I'm going to be completely transparent here. Today is Saturday, and I'm getting a little bit of my drink on, so I hope you're okay with that.
Totally fine.
I'm still paying attention.
Yeah. Oh, that's okay.
Maybe
You're not half as bad as some of the people we're used to.
That.
At least you're not going around asking people if you can finish your statements. There's been issues with that in the past.
What?
Oh, the can I finish, please?
Yes.
Can I finish?
No, you're good.
I'm gonna. What are you talking about, JT?
Oh, just nothing. We'll leave it at there. We'll leave it at that.
Okay. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna, like Kanye.
Well, it sat on fire. Hey,
I can't see the chat.
Have a look, mate.
muted
There's
all
some
of
good
this.
stuff going on in chat.
All right, so I'm a little bit nerdrotic, like retarded. So I don't know exactly what's going on.
We're all good. So, I guess before the Admiral
See
comes
exactly your
has-
message, John.
the
What's that?
question before us was it the worst episode of season?
Who's
Best and worst.
Say again.
is it RNTZ that has like the Australian / British accent?
New Zealand, yes.
Or am I
Close enough. Close enough.
So what are you talking about?
I think Admiral T was asking your best and worst episodes of season 3. So what do you think there, mate?
Okay. Well, I would say that season 3 of Enterprise, sorry, got more Star Trekky, kind of. My favorite episode of season 3 is, and I don't know the name of the title of the episode.
Yeah, I just got the email today about my StreamYard's renewal too.
Congratulations on losing $500.
Okay.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's just such a rewarding service to have. All right, listen, I'm sorry, guys. I got a little booted there. I guess Nikki Cox was the one browser tab too many. And, you know, I guess whatever species she's from sheds their cranial rings in adolescence, I guess. That's so much for that one. I just let's move the questioning on and get back on topic. We're going with best and worst episodes. I had said thought the worst one was the best one was Azadi Prime for me, and the worst one in my opinion was probably that one is badass. Extended space combat, really good stuff. The stakes had been built well enough. Azadi Prime was a really good episode. Also, even though I didn't like Similitude, I will say this: I did like Archer's speech in the beginning. Like that weird Wrath of Khan thing that they did. It kind of like tied into Mirror Archer making his inspirational speech, although Mirror Archer spoke with that weird voice. The Mirror Archer just like barely. There's something barely
Mirror
off
Archer doesn't
about
need
it.
enough fiber, I think, was the issue.
I think I should probably not trust my ex-girlfriend who backstabbed me once already.
He was Mirror Archer was weak.
He was a little bit of I think he was far too insane to put through any plan, but he was able to play the long game for a while. He was a match for Forrest, but not for Hoshi, who I guess Forrest was no match for either. Don't kill my boyfriend. Are we to presume that Mira Hoshi loved Mira Forrest? Is that what it was all about?
That was
the power
relationship of convenience.
Mira Hoshi loves.
She does kind of avenge his death, though. I don't know.
Nah, stepping stone.
No, she was going for the admiral, and then if he hadn't become an admiral, she would have dropped him for the first admiral that went by, or the first undercrewman that was going to pass
or
him.
Studweather even.
That Studweather I thought was the funniest thing about that episode. We go down a bad path by calling him Gay Weather. We have to come up with Pride. We have to come up with Pride Weather to stay out of trouble.
Right, yeah.
From that point forth, the rainbow flag emoji becomes the prevalent flag emoji in the teen group chat, with people just tagging each other with it all like nonstop. And we then, like, for the Mirror episode, like, Mirror Pride Weather is Studweather, man. He gets Hoshi. He's going to be, like, the Empress's consort. Maybe. I don't know. She doesn't kill him. But I thought that was it was too bad that episode wasn't shown when it was supposed to. And what the hell happened in season 3 that they had they were off the air for 7 straight fucking weeks from the end of March to the end of April, from the beginning of March to the end of April? What those 2 Mirror episodes were like when they should have aired, just it's gouged right out with like 2 episodes before and 2 episodes after Space.
Was that Iraq 2 or something?
I don't think the UPN had extensive news gathering on Iraq 2, but it was, I suppose.
No, that was
CBS or something instead, right?
So,
possibly.
So, I want to say that through my investigations on the CW, when they did the switchover and whatever happened, the higher ups, whoever was in charge of Paramount or whatever, they wanted boy bands, right, to appear every week. Yeah, no.
I think I had heard something that crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted boy bands to appear every week, and so I watched a little bit of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and towards the end of her run, which was on like CW or whatever, they had boy bands.
Yeah, I think you're right. Melissa Joan Hart from Long Island, everybody.
Yeah.
She's from the same town as Natalie Portman. Just like it's a hot chick generator out there. What can I tell you?
And I was a big fan of Clarissa Tells It All or whatever.
I vaguely remember that one. Just really quick, do you have a best and worst episode of season 3?
Yes.
Okay.
My best episode of season 3, I don't know the name of it, but there's one where Archer is pretending to be like it's Archer and Dagra.
Oh yeah.
He's pretending to be like they were in they were like captured in
yeah, they're imprisoned in like there was like a Xindi revolution, and Degra didn't. Yeah, the reptilians put them, and the Bugmen put them all in jail, and they had become friends.
Yeah, and they become friends, and they fake on the Enterprise. They fake like them being imprisoned.
They put them in a shuttle, like a mock-up of a shuttle, and let them experience.
Yeah.
And they get
Degra.
They get them drunk. I kind of enjoyed Stratagem, to be honest with you, but I could see it made me a little angry. Hey, Jonathan Hancock, good to see you, buddy. Welcome to the show. All right, so what did you think was the best? You with me on Azadi Prime, right?
What was your worst?
So, in my opinion, Stratagem was the best.
Oh, the best? Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah. I thought it was pretty good too. It touches on. I think they were trying to talk about enhanced interrogation.
Yes, and the Soviets used to do that, and the U.S. is the CIA or whatever has done that too.
Hell, if you ever been with a woman, they've done that.
I don't.
I think they're just trying to show a different method, a different way of enhanced interrogation, a more preferential way than the way that we were doing it here on Earth. It was a time where like the one thing about that episode that had me throwing the remote across the room, because it was when I first watched it, because it was kind of empathetic towards the people who were at Camp X-Ray. It's a Camp X-Ray analogy, I thought. The thing that I finally came to realize about it is like, what if we didn't have to do the brutal wet work? What if we could just, almost holodeck convince somebody? That episode was in the spirit of the show Mission Impossible. I guess Stratagem gave me a lot of feelings. It gave me a lot of feelings, some of which were anger.
Well, the problem is if you want to, kind of try to tie it to like real life. That is real life, and that happens. And if you think of if Star Trek is like our future, they would at some point kind of do that, and that's light. You know, they wouldn't like even if humans are evolved like Roddenberry wanted, we would still do that type of stuff. As far as like the worst episode of season 3, going back to the Yahtzee, going back to like time travel stuff. When I watched it back in the day,
Oh,
I
you're talking about
wanted-
the end of 0 Hour? Yeah, what a
0
terrible
Hour.
way to end
Yeah,
it.
0 Hour.
The episode is on the whole really good, and then that last 10 minutes, just like, oh,
No, yeah, it was good up to a point, but then it was
the
like
ending sucks.
yeah, exactly.
We needed reunion and resolution, not thrown into another story.
And we needed a resolution of Future Guy, because Future Guy started the whole thing.
Well, he shows up all messed up, and I guess he's
Yeah.
ready to die again. But yeah,
But we didn't know who he was or why he did anything, or
he gave us just a little when he explains that he's from the Future Federation.
yeah.
And shows Bakula that battle, that pretty incredible battle. But yeah, that was
dumb.
not. I cringe every time Daniels shows up. I know. I think we all kind of hate Daniels. His time travel outfit kind of cool, but everything about him is just like grates on my nerves.
It was just
They're trying to have it
stupid.
both ways.
Yeah.
All right, so let's keep it going to let's move to Buddy.
Maybe Daniel likes it
do you have
both
a
ways.
best and a worst?
What's that?
Oh, we're gonna move up to Buddy now. Buddy, do you have a best and a worst for this season?
Yes, probably Azadi Prime. I liked the Forgotten and the Council because of how
Buddy.
everything was moving past their hatred at that point. It kind of, the story started to get a little bit more succinct. I think Damage was pretty good too. Damage really kind of just shows how they were the bad guys, never really realizing that, hey, we're moving across a line.
Are we the bad guys?
That's how it kind of felt. That,
It does.
You know, so I
Oh,
kind
can
of like
you
I
imagine
like where
Malcolm
the
just
story
saying
was
that?
started to go there. The ones I hated, I hated Extinction, to be honest, and the Hatchery you could have just jettisoned that one and not ever showed that again. Those were the two I didn't like. So much.
I liked the ideas going on in Hatchery. I just thought that like it stuck into the Xindi season, it wasn't that good.
It probably would have been better as like a season 4 episode.
Yeah, it could have gone somewhere. Like it made sense, but like
had
to
really
have it
nothing-
wired into the Xindi thing.
It had nothing to do really with the Xindi, and then he's acting opposite of counter to orders, and we're going to do this, and the crew's like, what, you know, it just did not fit in the context of the season. But him standing there with the goop just falling on him all the time was annoying too.
Yeah, he was pretty filthy in that one. They like to get dirty in this Star Trek too. They're like they turn their back hard on stuff like having clean uniforms and a clean aesthetic on everything. And by the end of season 3, the Enterprise looks like the family's been on vacation for a little too long. It's got like a big ugly scar. It's filthy. It's inside, it's like more than just lived in. It's been torn apart, like externally and internally. And I guess Jerb, did you give your best and your worst?
Yeah, stratagem and similitude.
Sean, does that leave just you, or did I get everyone?
Yeah, I would have to say it's a tie for the worst between similitude and E squared. for different reasons.
You think E squared is worse than Rajan? Is it because it's like a little full of itself? It's like got Tuvok's problem. It's like they exceeded their dramatic ceiling and then it kept going anyway.
Which one was Rajan again? Was it
Rajan was they send him like a weird programmed like pheromonically and like genetically
that was
like enhanced like super spy chick to pick his brain.
Yeah, that episode was just dumb. They could have just cut that out of the entire season, and it wouldn't have changed anything. But that one didn't offend me in any way. It was just kind of dumb. E squared was, and it's E squared and Similitude. Similitude is just they didn't know where their ethics were on that show. It was just it was so full of both plot holes and horrible ethics and a horrible doctor. That one was just wrong on every level. E squared was just shit writing. It was just they tried to do Star Trek and just failed at every possible corner. There weren't any offensive things in it as far as why would this character do that, this or that. It was just.
It seemed like it was all built around the alternate timeline, and it's just like we could take Jolene and make her even less appealing than we did with the weird outfits in season 1. And they're like, I like where you're going with this. Keep talking. It's like we also have a model of the ship that we could just make that's alternate because it's CGI. We could alter it just a little, and that would be kind of cool. And like no one was like, don't be too proud of this technological terror you've created. Let's just stick with some Star Trek. That's a story worth telling. Yeah, for me, the best and worst. I mean, Ajani Prime is the best. The Expanse is in a way the worst because it bothers me. But I guess if it's supposed to make you think, then that's good. So I'll say Ajani Prime fine is the best, and Rajan to me was the worst. I thought that Similitude. Like, I don't know, like that story kind of tried, and like it's just the some of the things that they threw in there needlessly, like when we start to get like we find out like what is it, antigenic DNA taken to an extreme. It's like if you are born to someone who has had trauma, like it might do something to you like on a genetic level. Like there's some research on that, like people wonder about it. But like to take that to the nth degree, and we've seen this in other sci-fi where it's like Trip's clone simply starts to recover the memories that Trip would have had at the same age.
Yeah,
that was, and his technical skill.
Yeah, that had plot holes too. It was
yeah.
I did like how Trip figured out that.
For me.
Yeah, I liked how real Trip figured out fake Trip was getting it on with T'Pol. I liked that. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, fake Trip got to have sex with T'Pol, so it was his life was indeed worth it. In my mind, they had sex. Like some people argue that they might not have.
No, it was pretty clear that they. I thought it was pretty clear that they did.
Why would you wish that on clone Trip? I mean, Sim deserved it for what he was about to make the ultimate sacrifice for all mankind.
Well, why do you think he made the ultimate sacrifice? Right at the pinnacle, she said, will you give your life for Trip? And he said, oh, yeah, not knowing what the hell he's saying. We've all done it before. He just did it a little worse.
I think there's like there was a cutscene where Jolene was just like, my mind to your mind. You think this is just fine. You're not going to resist. I would say this, they could have improved this season so much if the Xindi weapon had showed up at some other outpost and devastated a bunch of Federation warships and maybe a civilian convoy, rather than have the attack on the Earth. We wouldn't have hurt our analogy that much. And I don't know how they were able to justify extrapolating the Starblazers thing. It was just very Starblazers, but I guess we asked the question. I'm going to throw this one out there. I'm not even going to ask it. Was the best, most interesting moral crisis? I think if anyone disagrees that it's not Damages, tell me why.
Don't disagree at all.
I mean, on paper, similitude should have been a more interesting moral quandary, but they fucked that one up because you start to not even feel bad for Sim. And it makes Archer look bad, too, because he's like, let me play with you and give you a fatherly moment. Let me take a fatherly interest in you, and you can play with the radio-controlled ship that me and my dad played with. I keep it on the NX-01 with me for some strange reason. It's like, what else does he have in there? It's like, this is a 20th century Star Wars collectible. It's called an AT-AT, right? I keep my weed in here. It's like, what the hell else did he have in his cabin? That was a random thing for him to have.
Well, he put a camera on it and fly it into Hoshi's room.
I love that idea. You know what? Honestly, what would have helped the Sim episode more than like the relationship with Hoshi, with T'Pol rather, would have been like, what would it have been like to go a little further with the younger Sim and Hoshi and Archer? Like Hoshi doesn't get in on that at all as like, say, ad hoc mom. That could have gone somewhere. You know, like, how does Archer do? Go ahead.
Extraordinarily creepy. He was creepy enough with Archer being his standing farther. We didn't need to stand in
bounce
mother.
out. But I'll see you in the chat.
Okay, Dead Man. Thanks, buddy. If we'll see you in the chat.
See you, man.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Oh yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I
we can
want
see
to
that.
thank Buddy Hepburn, Sean Carter, Germ, Resolute Germ. Who else is here? I'm blind.
I think you pretty much got it. Good to see you,
JT
Deadman.
Kurt. Obviously, the Admiral.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome. It was a pleasure to have you here. Can someone do me a favor and fish? Oh, I got it now. I got the Dead Man's channel. Let me just grab the Dead Man's link and put it in the chat. Everybody should give him a try and check out his stuff. Dead Man, thanks for joining us. You know what though?
This is not a professional operation, as AJ from Wi-Files would say, although he's more professional than I am. But
you know what? Everyone should check it out and enjoy it. Let me just drop this link in the chat for you guys. And oh hey, Buddy Hepburn is there ahead of me. Buddy, you are superior. Congratulations. All right, you know what, Dead Man, you've heard this
Blackburn.
one. We're gonna give you a full beam off. Here you go. We're gonna beam you down to the planet. Bye, buddy.
I'll see you guys next time.
Okay. The pink button is the ejector button down at the bottom of the browser.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Don't worry about it. But you did a great job. It was great having you. The Dead Man, everybody, check him out. All right. Well, we are moving into the middle end of our review. Let's see if we can't get a few of these more questions answered more. I guess we went with our best and worst. Best Actor Season 3. Let's try the same method. Anyone who thinks it wasn't Bakula, tell me why. I think the best acting we got in Season 3 was Bakula. I think we got a real good character arc on him. I think this was really about a decision was made to let him be like a more prominent cat. Like, he has a lot of screen time in this season. And I thought it was maybe some of the best acting I've seen in Star Trek. Certainly on the same level that we saw with Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Admiral, sir, I'm going to disagree with you wholeheartedly here. I think the number one acting credit should go to Linda Park in Season 3. Not only
she was
does
my runner-up,
have the chops to do that story. What is that? Exile with the creepy alien with the sectors long mental reach and having to deal with that. She
That was the Harlequin story from DS9 too, wasn't it? From Voyager rather, wasn't it? Right? Yeah.
She also was able to do all of the enhanced interrogation scenes from the reptilians, and all of that final couple episodes stuff with the Xindi Arc, where she had to be the badass in most of those scenes. I think that she deserves credit to being the number one. Easily.
You know what? That is a credible argument, and I'm not going to deny it. Go ahead. Sure.
I would give Linda Park most improved, but still, Bakula is head and shoulders above anyone else on the cast.
Studweather gets most improved because he can actually look at the screen and go, "Sir." He gets to the point where he can at least look at his screen and go, "Sir." It's crazy how bad he is at everything in season 1. I had a most improved category that we'll ask later. Go ahead, RRTNZ. You sound like you're chomping at the bit. Tell us.
Just going to agree with
Give us
Jared.
that passion.
This is Bakula's season. This is the season where he transitions from sort of naive, hopeful explorer to hardened, cautious pragmatist, right? That he develops not just moral fiber, but, he develops, real grit. You see him wrestle with some very difficult choices. I mean, I like Similitude mostly because Archer has to make a very deliberate choice, one life or the other. I've already pulled up the Joker quote earlier. But I agree with Jerm. This is Archer's season, right? And this is a season that has sold me on Bakula as an actor. This is the season where we measure him against the other captains like Sisko and Kirk and Picard, and we see that Bakula Archer is probably a rival for Kirk as the pinnacle Star Trek captain. I haven't put Janeway in there. I'm not going to. But like Sisko, we wrestles with those issues in the Pale Moonlight. But Bakula goes a step further, right? I mean, Sisko's actions in Pale Moonlight cause deaths, but ultimately there's the greater good. But Bakula has to do the executions himself. Sisko's hands are dirty, but Archer's soul is dirty after this season. The decisions he has to make, and it's brought home in the episode Home in season 4, where we discuss, Archer doesn't feel worthy of the accolades he's received because of what he's had to become, of what he's had to do, and it takes a really talented and experienced actor to pull that off, and Bakula absolutely does. A lesser actor in that role would not have succeeded, but he's so compelling, in every scene, whether he's getting his face punched in by a reptilian and mouthing off in return, or whether he's trying to convince Degra to do the right thing, whether he's trying to, bamboozle Degra and then that fake shuttlecraft. No matter what he's doing, Bakula's 100% convincing. There's no moment in this season where you look at him and go, really? Nah, he sells the whole thing. So that's my take. Bakula head and shoulders.
All right. I can't argue with you. I think that we might have seen two things happen at once. Perhaps we saw a breakout performance by a young actress really coming into her prime, because I did say before we started this that I thought Linda Park was maybe a standout for the whole show. This was definitely Bakula's season, built around the captain. But I think that in a lot of ways, there's a lot of episodes that have a very low Hoshi count. She manages to steal every episode where she's got more than 51% of the screen time. We've come a long way from the useless dialogue with Phlox in the terrible Borg episode. We have not wasted Linda Park again since then. Like they seem to realize that she is really good, and they're using her effectively. Like you said, someone noted she pulled off the weird thing with that alien from the kidnapping episode, as well as all the other stuff she had to do. Yeah, and also the stuff that she had to do, as JT pointed out, when she gets beat up and beat down by the reptilians and all the other stuff. So, yeah, I think maybe we're seeing a great breakout performance as well as one of the better captain performances ever. Because, yeah, by the middle of season 3, Bakula is showing such good acting and such interesting stuff that he's starting to surpass Picard even when I'm watching the show in this first run. Starting to like him a little better. But I think what it's happening at the same time, I'm getting sickened by Picard in the movies. Patrick Stewart was just a little harder to take in every movie that came out from that franchise.
Yeah.
By the time we got to Nemesis, it was too much. Sean, am I right?
Yeah. Picard never evolved. The only thing he really evolved when was from the Borg experience, but that didn't change him much.
I stood out like children, number one.
Push back. Look at him in season 1 and his interactions with Q. Look at him in season 7. All good things. Quite a different, a more open-minded, less by the book kind of guy. So I'm going to push back on the Picard didn't evolve. Maybe not as much as other characters did. Definitely not as much as Cisco. Definitely not as much as Archer. Definitely not as much as Kirk. But I'll push back against saying that Picard himself doesn't evolve.
I think it meant more during the movies.
Well, even then, there's some growth in Generation. I mean, I know you all hate Generations. I can't bring myself to dislike the film, sorry. But there's some growth there. The problem Picard faces in both Insurrection and Nemesis is that such terrible films. They're such mediocre.
That's what I'm saying. And he's giving his big rousing Picard speech, and I don't care.
It wouldn't matter. He could do his best in those films, and the mediocrity is so crushing.
I think
in Nemesis. God,
I
when
think
people
I
die,
walked.
You don't even feel sad. Oh.
I think I walked out of Nemesis. Yeah, buddy, you're right.
I mean, it's him. Stewart wanted Picard to be Kirk. He wanted Picard to be the only person that mattered. The story has to center around him. Shinzon is a copy of him. The Insurrection is about him solving the mystery like he's the hero of the story. Everything is him. And I need a captain's yacht. All this stupid stuff. It's just he wanted to put the magnifying glass, and that's why there was a Picard season 1 and 2 that has no one else in it but him, because he thinks he's Star Trek. He thinks he's the next generation, and I think that's what ruined it.
You're
soured
him,
it at the end of it. I get a little passionate about this because I liked him
Go
up
for
until
it.
that point. I when I think of him, I think of him in Dune. I think of him in Excalibur. I think of him as this versatile actor. And we're talking about versatility. Scott Bakula showed a lot of versatility through this whole season. Even the episodes I don't like where like one acting strange and taken over by the fetus thing. You're giving me the music. But he's showing a lot of range and versatility that Picard, once you hit Insurrection, he was kind of one note after that all the way through Picard season 3. He's just this one note guy. And it's
I tend to
sad.
agree.
It's really sad.
I tend to agree with you, and I think it is Patrick Stewart. Also, I wonder if the approach to Patrick Stewart wasn't the 7 of 9 show fell apart. The test audiences laughed at their stupid Borg liberation plot. They decided to jettison most of what they made, and then went to Patrick Stewart with like an entire show's worth of money, and they're like, no, the show's almost made. Like, it's a 7 show. We couldn't finish it. All we need from you is 1 episode worth of real work and like extended cameos to fix these busted episodes. And he's like, I can save your franchise with my thespian skills. Just let me get rid of my assets as an actor. I shan't use my good voice. I'll sound like a dithering old asshole. It's like, what was he thinking? In all of that. I think my favorite moment of the Picard show is when he says, "Oh, I'm not an actor," and then the next moment he's got an eye patch and like a vermilion shirt open down to his belly button and like some kind of space.
His real French accent, which is why he never used it in TNG. Yeah.
Left over from some better role like Merchant of Venice in Piccadilly Circus, right? It's like, I use this accent at Merchant of Venice. It's like, fuck you, Patrick. Sir Pat Stu went a long way to upset everybody as far as just his whole attitude. But hey, look what we got here.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
Grace Park is greater than Linda Park. Grace Park does have a lot of fans and has a lot of people who think she is like a very sir. She is very sexy. She gets caught up in the Kurtzman verse. She gets caught up in Hawaii 5-0.
She was a killer robot.
That was so controversial, sir.
She was a killer robot.
She was attacked by what appears to be essentially a robot.
She was in fact a killer robot.
But did she have a mechanical arm?
She did, but I think because it's a $1.99 super chat, it's a super chat, not a super sticker. So I don't do my imitation of the last unicorn voice. We'll have to leave that for another show. But you know what? I'm saying, unicorn. That weird outtake. Like I have woken up like haunted by how weird that is. Is that a kids movie that is like people watch it because it missed the mark? Is that the deal with that?
I don't know. But I definitely have fallen asleep to that show before and woken up to a line like that, like in a panic. What
I love Tony, but yeah, that's happened to me too. By the way, this week in 1979, on November 2nd, principal photography ended for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. This is crazy because it was released on December 7th.
Oh, sir, very controversial.
Really?
Yeah,
1979.
Yeah, in
1978.
No, this is known that the movie was not finished, and there are parts of the movie where we just see the ship moving against green screen where we assume that was their intent, or blue screen rather, and we assume that was their intent because it's part of the V'ger thing. There's a sequence where the V'ger cloud was supposed to strip off where they weren't able to finish it. There's an interview with William Shatner on New York's, I believe, Midday Live with Bill Boggs, or maybe it's the LA Midday, but Bill Boggs, who did the New York one, is the interviewer, I believe, and he's like, your movie premieres? And he's like, yes, later today. I'm very excited. He's like, yeah, you must be. He's like, I'm excited to see if they finished it. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, some of the final special effects were still being rendered yesterday afternoon. And like, you've got to be kidding. He's like, nope.
They edited it in less than 2 weeks, that film, using 1979 technology. My God.
I think it must have been.
It was progressive. They were editing and shooting as they went for about 6 months.
Must have been.
The final principal photography was they you know what, by the time they got to this one with all the changes and craziness they'd been through, I'm pretty sure what happened was they sat down and they fucking storyboarded as much of this as they could. They really storyboarded the hell out of it as much. Like there was a scene shot selection. And you know what? The editor is the director is the editor of Citizen Kane. So you have expert editing as your director. And you've got your own editor, so maybe they were able to do expedited editing because the movie really does look great considering all the challenge it was under. However, the final director's cut, and how a movie could have two director's cut, both posthumous, is beyond me. But there's director's cut number 2 where the V'ger cloud strips away from the V'ger ship as it passes the moon. it really is a feeling of completion that the first movie didn't have to see the threat. It really would have helped the first movie. Although, obviously, people kept going back to see it again and again and again. So, isn't that crazy? And in a weird parallel, on November 1st, 2005, Enterprise finale post-production audio mix completed with principal cast members including Connor Trinneer, Scott Bakula, and Jonathan Frakes, everybody. Final tweets for Views of the Voyages. The Paramount 98 episode run set to end May 13th, 2005. So November 1st, they finished the work on it, and it was just a zombie franchise for the rest of the year. These Are the Voyages, Season 4, Episode 22, I guess, aired May 13th, 2005. You know what? And, of course, the other thing that's not in This Week in Star Trek is that this time last year, Sean killed that time traveler who was trying to slash the tires on his car.
What?
Don't worry, it was within the bounds of the temporal accords.
Well, where was the car?
It was on one of the it was on Rigel 4. I always want to say Rigel 5 because there's so many Rigels.
Well, the reason I ask is if the car was on the street in front of my house, I couldn't. If it was in my driveway and it was night, I could blow them away.
It was in the shuttle bay, sir.
Oh, well then, do I own the shuttle bay and do I live there?
Your garage is the shuttle bay, right?
Yeah.
That would be true. The garage is the shuttle bay, and the shed's engineering.
Well, then there you go. They're gone.
No ammo will be spared. And on 2001, November 7th, get this one. Season 1, episode Strange New World aired, although I think it was the second airing for the episode because it's for premiere week, broadcast on UPN featuring Scott Bakula and Jolene Blaylock representing the cast and like sitting around on couches kind of interview with people talking about the show. Production wrapped earlier in October. The episode, directed by David Livingston, emphasized early human exploration. It was we liked that one. Wasn't Strange New World the one where they were being extorted by pirates? Well, that was Marauders.
Are you talking about the Bugs Life episode?
Strange New World. Yeah, Bugs Life episode. Strange New World was the one where they find just like a semi-idyllic planet, but if you go into the caves, the rocks there make you nuts, and they're going to kill them all.
Oh, that was the second episode. It was. Gosh, yeah, that was a pretty cool one. That was
they didn't want to give them a naked time, so they gave them a naked time planet to go nuts on, I think was the idea.
Yeah, that was a very...
Episode 4. Is it not?
4?
I believe so. Episode 3. It's episode 3 because it's right, 1 and 2.
Yeah.
It's really hard to calculate what episode it would be.
That one was a very TOS style episode.
Yeah.
I think they're tacking towards TOS for this whole show. This is the only show where I have great affinity for their ship in a way that I love. I love the NXO. Hey, Dadman, hello. For once, we don't have. Well, we only have one person who's going to be co-hosting with you at some point this week, even if it's just to kill zombies on Fortnite. JT, are you going to be with Dadman this week? It's good to see you, Dadman. Is JT AFK?
He's away.
Oh, okay. JT will plug that one later, but it's good to see Dadman walk at 55. He does have an ion storm that he needs to get on top of. You know what? Because his weather ends up in New York about 2 days later. So always a little bit disturbing when he has bad weather. Hopefully that's not the source of his absence. Maybe I just missed
I'm back.
There you're back. Are you going to be on with Dadman at all this week?
I will be on with Dadman on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern talking about sports ball. So, and even if you're not super into sports ball, we have a lot of fun. So, come check us out.
Thank you, sir. Okay. Oh, wow. Look at that one.
Admiral Teague, incoming super chat.
We got a super chat from my pal Wes Cagle with a $5 US American dollar super chat. Enterprise Season 3 is amazing thanks to Hoshi. All of Enterprise is great because of Hoshi. I tend to agree. Hoshi does a fantastic job, and if anything, the dialogue undercuts the performance because when, like, I am so ready to believe that she learned reptilian, but the throwaway line, like, there are 32 different dialogues, sir. It's like, come on, just, but have her have learned reptilian. Don't make her have to, like, make it any harder. Although I guess
you could make it any harder.
Empress Hoshi, she could make your life hard. She could make a storm happen. You know what? If anything, let's let her have her say right now for a moment. Empress Hoshi, say hello.
Incoming transmission.
Welcome to Saving Star Trek, a show talking about one of my favorite shows, Enterprise. I am Linda Park. I play Hoshi Sato and also Empress Sato. So enjoy this show. I love that it's finding a whole new life on the streaming services. And you better hit that like button or Empress Sato will not be happy. I mean, she could make a storm happen and she could really make your life hard. Anyways, enjoy the show, hit that like button, and thank you for being a fan of Enterprise.
Thank you, Wes Cagle, and you get a special encore appearance from. I loved it when someone called her paid celebrity endorser. Gift from my friends for the channel, Linda Park, like telling us some stuff that like turned out to be right on the nose. Like, I didn't realize that this was in Europe the #1 streaming Star Trek show after TNG, with 2 years less episodes, and also that it was finding an audience finally, because this show never got syndication, and rewatchability is a franchise cornerstone. So that's something that if this show had hung around on broadcast TV or been easier to find for people, there would be a lot more fans of Enterprise. It's coming into its own now, and we're fortunate the way things lined up for us to be able to do it. I'm happy to have had the challenge of being the first show to go chronologically through Star Trek. It has the advantage of never having been tried before. Oh, Hoshi makes something hard, that's for sure, especially in the Mirror episode's bedroom outfit. Hubba hubba, says Wes Cagle. You know what? I think that we can arrange for some eye candy on that one. I think that Empress Hoshi can visit us in a more substantial form from the Mirror episode. That was a really crazy Enterprise approach. What went on during those 6 weeks, I think maybe JT had something there. Maybe that was the Iraq War broke loose and they kicked over to being a CNN affiliate or whatever it might have been. But
I think that's what it's got to be. I mean,
there you go. Look at those abs. I know a lot of people like their super chat left on screen, but blocking Linda's abs. All right, we're going to leave that up there for a couple of minutes in gratitude of Wes Cagle's very generous chat. Thank you very much, sir. And I just want to say, like, that extra, her eyes are up here. He got paid for that, man.
Admiral?
Yes, sir.
And thanks to Wes Cagle, we do have an extra for his kind super chat.
Go for it.
Program identified. Loading Pride Weather Simulation West Cagle 2.
Oh no! What would Pride Weather do to him? Oh no, sirs! Oh, sirs and madams, it is untoward what's going on here. But look at Hoshi. Oh, look at that stomach. This was Linda's episode, really. She was powerful in this. She showed like a dynamic to her acting. And I think we're all pretty baffled as to why she hasn't caught on or become the cornerstone of another show somewhere out there. Oh, Radioactive. Notice Hoshi knows which way to hold the phase pistol. She knows which way to point the phaser. Oh, yes. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, she does know which way to point the phase pistol. Let me see if we can't find that. This will always be here. We'll have this for everyone all the time, but we have the... did I ditch the backwards phaser? Did I actually do that? Somewhere out there, we have the backwards phaser. I know it. No, I did. I ditched it for the new sound effects. So we're just gonna have to live. Oh no, here it is. All right, great. Yeah, we can never get rid of the backwards phasers. That is core channel, like lore here. This is the terrible creation of Kurtzman exposed.
In a horrible costume, absolutely horrible.
All the costumes are horrible.
And horrible haircut.
Here's the thing: is she
man,
supposed to be
everything
pointing
is
it at a
wrong.
human, or is she supposed to be pointing it at a Klingork? Is this a
I think this
walkthrough?
targets the lowest IQ in the room, no matter what.
That the target for the show was, but I mean, is this from an episode, or did this air?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure.
that did air.
There's
That
no excuse for how
I
this
believe,
happened.
Season finale of season 1.
There's no reason for how this could be allowed to happen either. It's not like at this point, like maybe the actress is in the clear. Okay, fine, you didn't like Star Trek, but wow, that there was no one to catch this. This must have been in the room on the TV when they were talking to the arbiter. Like when Netflix was trying to get out of paying for this show. It's like, this is Star Trek, sir? And the arbiter was like, damn it, I'm an industry insider. I'm a producer on 5 episodes of the original series of Star Trek. I'll be damned if you're going to tell me that's Star Trek. Because Secret Hideout lost that lawsuit. So thank you, Radioactive. Hoshi knows which way to hold the phaser. We have shown you the evidence. This is an evidence-based Star Trek reviewing show. And we run a respectable Star Trek drinking show. Viewing show. We run a respectable drinking establishment is what I meant to say. Okay, so... Oh, hey, Wes Cagle. He wants to keep Hoshi up here. The only thing better than backwards phaser is backwards Bacon Spock, that pillow biter. Oh, Wes Cagle wants the media. All right, you wanted it, you got it. Here's the full 22 seconds of new Trek nonsense, including it starts with Bacon Spock. Here we go.
Insufficient sensor data. Incorrect.
10 fucking grueling hours.
There you go, Wes Cagle. Maybe we'll refresh the picture of Hoshi. We have plenty of them lined up and ready to go. She is just such a beautiful woman.
Yeah, I got a better
pleasure.
version of that thing for West.
Go ahead.
Here you go. Here you go.
Program identified. Loading Pride Weather Simulation West Cagle 2.
That was perfect.
Generation-based joke.
Yeah,
What's
let's see Spock do it one more time. Empress Sato, tell me what you want me to know. I will do it. Make my life hard. It's fine.
Midriff.
Oh God, she's so beautiful. And look at Pride Brother behind him. Like, he's got some amazing pecs. I wouldn't mind being as ripped as Pride Brother. If you woke up tomorrow morning as ripped as Pride Brother, man, like, you'd be like, I don't know, like the only old guy that ripped is like RFK. I'd be like the new RFK. I can't believe that they wasted this one. This was made during season 2. It should have aired during season 2. It may have changed the fate of the franchise. Holding off on this was fucking stupid too.
Yeah, I can totally agree with JT on picking Linda Park as the best overall performance in this season.
It's not insane to say it at all.
I mean, I will not argue against that at all. That's she pulled it off. I mean, she made out with 3 dudes in this episode.
2 of them are straight. Yeah, you're right. Who is the third? Pride Weather? Admiral Forrest. It was great to see the props from the original show again, too. This should have been part of season 2. We're going to discuss it as part of season 2. It's out of production order. You know what? It belonged in season 2. It was a stupid mistake. This was the show really showing us it knew what it was doing, and it was wasted. Just thrown at us after they had made the decision to scrap it. Again, I mean, thank you, George W. Bush, I guess. But you know what? We've covered most of the questions. I guess the big question here is it Star Trek? So let's start with Sean. And as you can see, I've subspaced you. So you know what? After you finish it, you can get to pass the ball over to Germ. I'm going to go last on this one. Is Vengeance Trek Star Trek as a whole this season? Is it Star Trek? Because our audience is voting on that one now. And before
you're talking that season 3 Star Trek
is the concept Star Trek. And listen to this breakdown. Our audience is quite vociferous. Check this out. We got 21 votes. Good TV, good Star Trek, 67%. Good TV, bad Star Trek, a considerable portion, 24%. Bad TV, bad Star Trek, 5%. Bad TV, good Star Trek, 5%. Wild. The dichotomy of views within one community. You're all welcome here. Leave your prejudice in your corners. Nah, it's okay. You can bring your prejudice with you to the show. As long as it's funny. Just don't be a dick about it and don't really believe it. And you can say a few things like, did you know that that Vulcans from the northern continent have to fly in the back of the shuttlecraft until 1967? Did you know that? Tuvok carried that anger with him. That's why Tim Russ is the way he is.
That explains so much.
Linda Park, not Rosa.
Tim Russ is such an asshole. I think everyone will forgive us for having some fun at his expense. I can't believe of all people that irrelevant piece of shit went viral. We just, we won't talk about the terrible events of today because we're here to entertain you. But Tim Russ was an asshole about it as usual. And that was all we said. We had to come back like days later. Thank God we're only on a couple of times a week. Days later, when it was like calmed down and not way too soon anymore, we only talked about how inappropriate Tim Russ has always been. You know what? When it comes to fucking dignity, he ain't found shit. So, Sean, I'll go last. You take over for a moment here. Is this Star Trek?
Yeah, I'll go and then I'll pass it to Germ. We'll go down the line there. It's Star Trek sometimes. There's some definite Star Trek moments. There's some definite Star Trek episodes. But if we're looking at just the arc in itself, no. And I say that it's not as much as I would say it. Neither was the Dominion War arc in DS9. That was not Star Trek. It's Star Trek is science fiction. Science fiction is supposed to be episodic, with a few outlying two or maybe 3 episode arcs is where I would draw the line. If you have a really compelling story to tell and need 2 or 3 episodes to do it, that's fine. But the stories have to be contained. So overall, no, it is not Star Trek, but it's a season with Star Trek episodes in it. So I will pass to Germ.
I'd say it's Star Trek-ish. It's okay sci-fi, okay TV, very iffy Star Trek. I agree with your comparison to the Dominion War. That is, for as much as people don't like it, is Star Trek. But and it's just not great sci-fi.
Well, let me ask you this, Jim. Insofar, if the Xindi Arc were a 3-episode stint, would that change your mind?
Not really. I think it'd be less damaging since it takes up less time, but it's still not great sci-fi. Okay, Star Trek.
Okay, that's good. JT, is he back?
I'm back if it helps.
Oh, you're back.
Were you trying to reach me?
Very able. Yeah, we were
going down the line about
okay.
I by no means stepped away to piss people.
Good TV, bad Star Trek. I thought the Xindi line was way too long for a TV series. I thought it distracted from exploring strange new worlds, seeking out new life and civilizations. And, you know, they did a great job with drama and things like that. Was it really Star Trek? No. And I know it was their long shot to try to resurrect what they had left of some ratings, and Les Moonves got his grubby mitts into it, but that doesn't really excuse it in my mind. So I'm not going to knock on any individual person's performance or, you know, the score or anything like that. It just wasn't really Star Trek. I think it was closer to maybe a BSG type story than it was anything else.
The score actually was a high point. This was some of the nicest music we've heard from the newer composer, because I think Goldsmith only wrote the Goldsmith might not have written anything for this one. Archer's theme is not written by him. Okay. RRTNZ, tell us about your feelings. Is this very different track still Star Trek? Have we gone too far in a few places?
Of course, I'm going to push back on this one because I was someone who pushed quite hard for you to review this season in the first place. So
you were a difference-making fan, and I'll take a moment here. I want to thank you first for encouraging me to do this, because I had to have a crisis at that moment, and I think that it forged me, and I think that it's the moment that I think I became, in my own heart at least, worthy of this honor of doing this Star Trek show with all of you, and that's this. I did what the fans told me I should do rather than what I felt like doing, which made me true to my own words about what I said that Kurtzman should do. This bothered me, and I have a good enough reason. And all of you were super cool. Nobody expected me to do it. No one cared. It didn't matter. No one cared. And we could have just gone right to season 4, and no one would have cared. And we would have come out of it watching Stormfront saying, you know, wow, what a great sidestep that we did. Look how bad it was. But the truth is, I was wrong. And some of this was cathartic for me. And after 24 years, it's not too soon. It was the effect of watching it then. And like, wow, some of the things that like changed for me, like I thought E Squared was good when I saw it. But RRTNZ, go ahead. Tell us, good TV, good Star Trek, bad TV, bad Star Trek, TV, some of it each.
Great TV and great Star Trek. I'll tell you, well,
unequivocal, go for it.
But I'm going to say great TV and great Star Trek. And I'm going to say this. There are episodes of the original series that ain't good Star Trek. That aren't Star Trek, right? So if we're going to pick apart episodes, well, you can do that to all the Star Trek series. Like the real Star Trek series, I'm cutting out New Trek entirely, right? You go through all
yes, thank you.
Star Trek episodes,
we
right?
use the term 6605 continuity.
Yeah, that's thing one. Thing two, I push back against the idea of revenge Trek. It's not revenge. It is the struggle for survival. Right, and what we've talked about, you know, look at my avatar today. We talked about the star blazers metaphor, and I'm going to push back on the length of it as well, because it achieves in a single season what it took 4 seasons of DS9 to do. And I'm going to say with no less or character development. Now, Star Trek is about the exploration of science fiction ideas, but also about ideas about the human condition, as Germ said, right? And there are moments in this season where they explore the human condition, but also moral philosophy in a really, really authentic way. Someone once said to me that the best bits of TNG are applied moral philosophy, and this season tackles those things in, for the most part. I mean, we disagree on similitude, but none of us disagree on damage.
I'm not as against similitude as other people.
Yeah, it tackles these issues in a very, very Star Trek way. So to me, it's my favorite season. Now, I guess it really hinges on whether you hold to the belief. Like J-Man, for example, great guy. He's very much Star Trek must be episodic. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he said as much. Star Trek should be episodic. And I am not so sure. I think one of the great things about season 4, because we're going into a really good place, is you've got an episodic season which comprised of several different stories. That's like each one being 2 or 3 episodes long, and that's almost a perfect balance. So very excited about season 4, but in defense of season 3, I think that they did it extremely well. So to me, it is both good Star Trek and good television. And the performances, like I don't think you guys have gone on about the performance of Hoshi. I still think that Bakula's better as Archer, and Archer's character is better. But Hoshi would not have had the opportunity to develop as a character, or Linda Park to show what she can do as an actress without the stories in this season. It creates the opportunities for those characters. Even Dominic Keaton gets some great moments this season.
Yeah, he does actually. Mirror read is great.
Well, not even that. His rivalry with the Mako commander, with Major, oh God, what's his name?
Major Hayes,
right? That brings out, Major Hayes. That brings out his character. To Paul's descent.
I thought that was a great moment for Archer too, when he slaps both of them down.
Oh yeah, when he has to, because he has to. He shows his great as a commander. This season, because it ratchets the tension so high, right? It provides the opportunity for the actors to really show what they got and the characters to develop. And if that's not exploration of the human condition, well, what is? So to me, I disagree with others. Great TV, great Star Trek. That's me.
All right. Going up next is our pal Buddy Hepburn. Buddy, you have been a big part of this. You have helped us keep order in the chat. You have like 500 bot kills to your fucking credit. You are a Blade Runner in your own right that way. What do you think about this, like the good TV to good Star Trek ratio of this season? Are you muted? We'll give Buddy a second. All right. While Buddy gets back to the microphone, because we all do drift away, or gets the tech thing sorted, and we'll watch the private chat for that one. I'll give you my opinion. All right. There's no two ways about it. This is really good TV. Almost every episode is really good TV. They went in there knowing they're going to take an L on episodes like Rajan. They knew that they were going to take an L. They were like, we got to save some money. What are we going to do? And then again, with similitude, they're like, it's smart enough. As far as, is it good Star Trek? It cracks some kind of a code to go forward with doing Star Trek. Oh, you know what? I think I could try something. Try talking now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Give us your idea of this of the Star Trek versus TV ratio worthiness of this season.
I think overall it's good TV, especially compared to seasons 1 and 2 for me. I think I want to say bad Star Trek, but there are times when it's good Star Trek. There's enough there for me to call it good Star Trek. I think the problem I do have with it isn't so much it's not episodic, it's the execution across the full season, plus those bottle episodes just kind of feel out of place a lot of times. And like if you look at Voyager, you've got the Year in Hell, where I think most people agree they wanted more of that, and they just had 2 episodes. So it's kind of the inverse for me. I think if they would have did this maybe half a season instead of trying the full season, and like Voyager drag that out more to half a season, you could have gotten a better feeling overall, the arc of the season for me, been more concise, more to the point. It kind of meanders in places and you're like thinking, well, what's the point? What's the point of this? Some of the episodes feel like they're throwaway. For me, I think that's my struggle. My initial thought is it's bad Star Trek, but I think there's enough there to say, no, it's good Star Trek. It's just the execution of it over the course of the season for me is where it kind of falls apart.
My Struggle. That would make a great book title. Have you ever considered like writing down your thoughts of this struggle of yours? Oh, did you? I did. Go camping on that idea. You know what, buddy? Right on. Here's what I have to say on this one. You know what? It's very good TV. It's very, very, very good TV. We have opening stingers that are commanding in a lot of these episodes that keep me going, that keep you going through it. One of the problems this whole season has is a distractingly bad Faith of the Heart, which can throw you out of it. I have spoken of this many times. There are unwatchably bad episodes of Star Trek Voyager that cruise through without destroying my mind because of the theme song for Voyager is sweeping and beautiful, and it really gets me excited for an adventure, for a sci-fi adventure. And most of the time you get two Vics, but every once in a while you get Bride of Chaotica. And you know what? We talked about it the other day when we talked about the Mirror episode. When we hear the swelling, beautiful music of Star Trek First Contact, Jerry Goldsmith's beautiful Next Generation song, the song that they should have held on to that song for the rest of their movies. It had a majesty to it that the befitting of Star Trek, but when they played the full swelling version of that at the beginning of that bait and switch, that ruse they pulled on us in Mirror Darkly, it was fantastic. And we had great music through this whole season. Fantastic television. A1 television. Some of the episodes were spy stories. Some of the episodes were moral quandaries. Some of the episodes here and there, we even had some time to go Star Trekking. It always seemed like a weird side quest that we weren't laser focused on the Xindi. They tried a hybrid of 2 things. Dolim is the successor to Duras, our first 1-season bad guy, where he really doesn't work out. But we kill him off, and that's good enough to start this whole crazy run through the Delphic expanse. And then we have, our bad guy for this season shows up. It's Dolim, and he's a jackass who we hate through the whole thing, and he's terrible and a bad guy. And, yeah. And then we have the great Tucker Smallwood. Oh, yeah. Dolim. Yeah, it was a prize on my birthday. But we have the great Tucker Smallwood and the great Roger. Was it Randy Oglesby or Rogers Oglesby? The guy was great. He gave great performances. It was great TV, no matter how you slice it. Here's the thing: was it good Star Trek? No, but it was not anti-Star Trek. It was good enough Star Trek. We Star Trekked a little here and a little there. We had acknowledgement that we had to go back to more Star Trek-like stories. We do go to planets, I believe, in Season 4 once or twice. We do see new places. The exploration was front-loaded in Enterprise. We did it all in Season 1 and 2. The only thing I would say about this one is it's good enough Star Trek, so my vote went to the 67% of you who said good TV and good Star Trek. And that's in spite of myself, and that's thanks to this community that challenged me to review the entire season, and we did. We did shortcut like 1 or 2 episodes. I think there were two episode shows, but those episodes really didn't have enough to them to go a whole 3 hours. And it looks like we're going to stick the landing on this show tonight, because with about a half hour left, we have about a half hour of stuff left to say, which is fantastic in a world where, you know what, you got to deliver the best Star Trek show you can. You never know what life has in store for you. But I thought that we saw everybody hit their stride in this season in their character. I thought that Scott Bakula put on an acting clinic, while Hoshi really put on some of the most fantastic acting we've seen from a character in Star Trek as well. And that we saw a most improved from Pride Weather, where he did a fantastic job, in my opinion, in the Mirror episode, where he was menacing and hetero. And also, just really good touches, like how military will Star Trek be. I thought the Makos did a great job of accentuating Gene's vision of a Star Trek that didn't need its own military, and how we ended up with red shirts who did more than just brutal run around with phasers. You know what I mean? Like something to it, a cohesion and a professionalism to Star Trek security, and how the Makos kind of like, they weren't quite appropriate for the situation. We didn't need like colonial Marines. But we did need like better security. We were naive and dumb in seasons 1 and 2. It's like we had episodes where he's literally like, "Hello, my name is Jonathan Archer. Would you like to scan our computers and schematics to learn everything about us? Or would you like me to tell you a long story?" It's just like, how out of it are these guys? And, we saw them developing a bit of a hard edge. And then the writers made the decision to go with this crazy story about revenge and about, in my opinion, what turned out to be, honestly,
survival.
Well, I was going to say, what is revenge and what is justice? Right? Because it could be also said to be justice for, well, yes, also the entire human race was on the line. I would also say that is a plot hole in this episode too, because it should have been stuff like New Mars is covered with people. There are a ton of people there, a lot of people on the moon, and they're saying that they were rewatching old episodes of Space 1999. They're going to ride it out on the moon. A lot of people out on Jupiter Colony and all the moons. We got an armada. If they're going to show up there, they're not just going to show up and fire, which is what they end up doing. I would have thought that there would have been a Dunkirk-like response, like, we're going to fill the sky with weapons. It's just like strap an engine and a gun to it and put 3 guys in there and just like get it up there. Start shooting at the Xindi weapon as soon as it comes in. It's like, if I was president of Earthica, I would have been like...
you missed the point of Dunkirk there, Admiral.
Well, I know Dunkirk was an evacuation. I'm just saying as far as the emergency ad hoc nature of it. Right? I would have had an ad hoc offensive fleet. It would have been Operation Attack, I would have put everything in the sky I could have. I would have launched all of our old nuclear weapons at it, too, for the fuck of it. Fuck them. Go ahead, Chair.
They are sticking to the old trope that Earth has no defense. Ever since the motion picture, when people started questioning, why is the Enterprise the only thing at Earth, they've basically said it as a running joke.
I thought that maybe Earth left itself undefended as a gesture of political goodwill and ultimate strength. It's like, if you come after our planet, boy, will you ever regret it, because we have Starfleet. And we're diversified. We're not going to get taken out by one supernova like the goddamn Romulans plan to. By the way, I admire that extra who got to look at Hoshi's ass. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Even in the Dominion War, Earth is undefended. Because in Season 7, the Brains strike Earth and the fleet is far out of system.
Fair enough. So that dovetails into our final question. We might be able to do this in really just so say we all fashion. If anyone else disagrees with me, say so. But I think our most Star Trek episode is the final question of this discussion. And I reserve the right to maybe kick more of this discussion until next week. If there's more questions left over, we'll talk about real quick when we're done here. I don't know. Or we might go to Stormfront. It's up in the air right now, but Stormfront seems to have the edge. I'll just say, guys, are we ready to talk about this one? What's the most Star Trek episode that we saw this season? This one doesn't count. We're counting this as season 0. Mirror Darkly is its own thing for a variety of reasons. Hey, her eyes are up there. Anyway, what do you guys think is the most Star Trek episode of the season? I'll go first. North Star is the most Star Trek episode of the season. I really enjoyed North Star. It was fun. I thought it was a good, fun homage to how much, rather than slamming on Gene and calling him a murderer and stuff like that, like we do in New Trek, we showed him as like a really great and benevolent guy who we could all like enjoy in the as a writer for Wagon Train, portrayed as a pretty positive show. So I thought that North Star was our most Star Trek-like episode, and also our most respectful of what Star Trek was about. We went to a place and we found a strange world, and like, okay, we met the aliens and they are us, but there were also some aliens too, and like learning to coexist and all that stuff in a light way that just sort of reinforced that that's what makes you a good person, if you're somewhat tolerant and forgiving without making you have to see it that
with
way.
That bumper sticker, that coexist bumper sticker, that's how it happened.
The NX-01 has a what do you call it, a Bush Cheney bumper sticker on it. It's 2004.
So that was the moon in season 4.
They have a Terra Prime bumper sticker on the back of Shuttle Pod 1, but I think the most Star Trek episode of the season was North Star. I'll go to Sean. What do you think, sir? Most Star Trek episode?
I have to agree. It was
I might have an ironclad case there.
What's that?
It might be ironclad on that one, actually.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought of that, and I'm glad you went first, because I was thinking that was a season 2 episode because it didn't have much to do with the Xindi. It took a break from that arc, and man, that was absolute Star Trek. It's something, again, we would have seen that in TOS.
It was the inverse of the American Indian planet. I'm sorry, the Guardian planet. Guardian 4. It was definitely. And is there a least Star Trek episode of it? Or you could say a lot of them, right?
Oh,
Impulse.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the zombie one.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
I love that episode.
It's a good episode. It's very un-Star Trek-like. There's not a lot of bad episodes in this season.
I'm going to disagree with you about the most Star Trek episode, but I'll let JT go first.
Well, first I want to know what Sean was considering as his first choice before I said...
I hadn't thought of one.
You were blanking. Yeah, there's not a lot of Star Trek in this. I'd have to
look at the list and decide.
There wasn't too much Star Trek in this season. There really wasn't. I mean, we had a reverse There Are 4 Lights episode. But remember, RRTN said, by my definition, Star Trek means that, for the most part, for an hour, we usually go to a planet. Sometimes we meet an Earth-like civilization. We see some things about humanity lightly projected onto the society. We get to, learn a little bit about ourselves, think a little bit about something topical, not get judged or finger wagged. And the way they explain it, although all depends on people traveling at light speed and stuff like that, it mostly feels like it makes sense and it just sits well with you without upsetting your sense of like right or wrong. And, things as crazy as the crystalline entity are few and far between. And every once in a while, we just have fun, too. And you're allowed to be very controversial, sir. But next, I think I'm going to go with, I'm going to use the first outer, inner, last method I was so bad at in college and let Buddy go next. Buddy, what do you think the most Star Trek episode was of the season?
I want to say Twilight for me, because I could see you doing that episode in TOS in Next. They did it in Next Generation, essentially with Riker losing his memory and the alien kid, right? So So, I mean, to me, that felt the most timeless of the episodes.
Twilight was good.
With you 100%.
Twilight was a good
Christopher
episode.
Nolan episode, Memento.
I thought it was a very Twilight Zone style sci-fi episode, if that makes sense.
It's got a lot of locations from like TOS and Wrath of Khan because they go to SETI Alpha 5 and all that stuff too. So
yeah,
for me it's the most.
It really felt like they knew like they were writing Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's very
handles
Trekish,
time
and they
travel
know
really
what they're
well.
doing. Yeah, I guess that's one where we don't have a problem with it. Because it's an alternate timeline. It's like that timeline, that sort of time travel fixed the timeline where like you go through it a few minutes, like you've already passed through the time. It's just that like it's not accounted for in the episode. That usually does work out. So first in or out or last. That means Germ goes next. Germ, what do you think the most Star Trek episode of our season was?
I gotta agree with Buddy. It's Twilight. It is. It could have been and was a TNG episode.
Fair enough. Is there something that you felt was so un-Star Trek like that it stood out, or
Un-Star Trek like? Not particularly.
Yeah, that's what I think was the secret to this being so different. Is it didn't fly in the face of Star Trek. They weren't like they stole some parts of a warp core. They weren't like no witnesses. You know, that would have been the new Trek one method of doing it. Okay, so now that brings us to RRTNZ, who's going to be very controversial, sirs.
No, well, Buddy and Jerome have covered it. Twilight is the best Star Trek episode this season. It is a slightly darker version of All Good Things. It's Memento. It's a Christopher Nolan type episode. Non-linear storytelling, a great mechanism for, if you think back to All Good Things and the concept of anti-time, it is a great mechanism for facilitating a time travel episode without actual time travel. So that's the sort of science fiction exploration that Star Trek's about, right? So that for me is, and also great character moments and drama. Yes, Twilight, definitely the best Star Trek episode. Buddy and Germ have covered it already. So well done, lads. And the least Star Trek episode, although one of the most fun, is definitely Impulse. Not Star Trek at all, but amazing fun. I love that episode.
I have to agree, zombies are definitely not Trek.
No, well, Vulcan space crack zombies, but that's what a great episode. You've got the ticket, you've got the zombies trying to kill them. You've got the ticking clock of the ship's gonna die. You've got all these things running against them, and T'Pol's breaking down as well. It's fantastic.
And the Borg are zombies. So there are zombies in Star Trek. The Borg are space zombies, time traveling space zombies. Those dicks. By the way, you might hear me calling an NFL game here tomorrow, if it doesn't interfere with the Jet game. The Jets are going to start rolling off a winning streak that's going to make them the hottest 10-6 team at the end of this season. You guys, are 10-7 team at the end of this season. You just watch, believe me. The conspiracy is over. I want everyone to know that I looked for the first time, guys, since 2021. 2 weeks in a row have gone by without the Jets losing. It took a bye week to make it happen. The Jets have not won 2 games in a row since like 2018. This is how terrible things have been. Tomorrow I can't wait to wake up and watch the Jets on Paramount Plus. At least it pays for itself by giving me free Star Trek. I'll watch Star Trek after that one. All right, did I get everybody's most Star Trek episode? Okay, yeah, it's yours. Go ahead, JT.
Sure. So this might shock all of you, but the number one most Star Trek episode of this season was Extinction. Now, why do I say this? Because this was a direct copy of the Next Generation episode, Identity Crisis, which was the one where Geordi would beam down to the planet and slowly was genetically reorganized into an alien.
I
which
enjoyed that one.
is
He was
exactly.
They call it naturalization.
Okay. But the Identity Crisis episode of TNG was the first version of this episode, and so Extinction therefore is the most Star Trek of them all by virtue of copy and paste. So let's see. The one that stood out the most as not Star Trek would be Countdown, because that was Star Wars.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah,
Star
yeah, it
Wars,
was.
but that was the least Star Trek we got going on here. So
Was it at least for you, like, Reese's Pieces there or whatever? You got chocolate, my peanut butter. You got peanut butter, my chocolate. Was the Star Wars Star Trek mix work for you, or it's never sat right? I thought it kind of worked more in some episodes than others, but
it didn't sit well enough for me. I would try it out of morbid curiosity, and then I would never buy it again. It's like those weird
Star
colored
Trek
Mountain Dews, the black Mountain Dew, the white Mountain Dew. You're like, I'll take one sip and then I'll never buy it again.
At least they had a sense of proportion, because I was going to say in modern Star Trek, what they would have said is like, fire a full spread of Genesis device torpedoes. Blowing up the whole solar system like JJ did. All right. So, you know what? There we go. Star Trek Enterprise Season 3 discussion retrospective. I don't know if there's any questions left rattling around. Anyone have anything to say? It ended badly. We needed a resolution and a reunion and congratulations, and we needed to go back to Earth. And they teased that so well, and they should have kept going with it. It was getting me right in the feels when they were looking at the Earth on the view screen, and they were playing Archer's theme, the extended version, and you heard the horns, and it's like Trip's like, there she is. She sure is beautiful. And it's like kind of reminding us why we went through all this hell. And then all of a sudden it's like 1944. It's like, wait, what? 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. It's like, what? And like now next week we have to do this fucking Man in the High Castle episode of Star Trek. And I gotta admit, I haven't sat down and rewatched it. I was not overly thrilled with it. I wasn't hating it either. It had some stuff going for it. The chick in it is hot. The chick is hot. Is that Gabrielle Union?
I don't know.
She's all right. I like that chick. She's okay. But the episode, it's only all right. It's kind of like Edith Keeler lived a little too long. Well, I reserve judgment till I rewatch it totally in like with my full attention, because I kind of watched most of it last week after Countdown ended, because I was like, the 0 hour ended, because I was like, huh? And then I watched the beginning of the next one, and I was like, they rush him back to the Enterprise so fast in the beginning of the next episode to like say hi to everybody before they throw him back onto Earth. It seemed to me that we just got like our order of operations wrong. We really needed, like, if they had a sense of completion to the Xindi Arc, they may have gotten season 5. Like it was so close. Like it was little things like making Faith of the Heart a bad song. Like there was no case for that version. And really just pulling the rug out from everyone with the end of season 3. It didn't work. All right. So I didn't like the end of the final episode, but overall I was really glad I took this little experiment in Star Trek. They were writing for a time that would come now. Too soon. But you know what? It was fun to watch with all of you, and I was glad you guys stuck with me through it. Next week, back here, I guess, with Stormfront, and I guess we'll go through everybody. Buddy, what will you be doing this week?
Just school. That's about it.
All right, kick ass at that, and hopefully you'll be here sometimes modding. It was great to have you on the panel. You've more than earned it. You are the best mod in all of the YouTube stars, sir. Thank you. RRTNZ, you're all over the place. Where will you be this week?
Oh, that's a good question. I just put out my own nonsense videos. I even did a musical parody for this season.
I
Which I put out
posted it
today.
on X.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so I just turn up anywhere, really. I'm not much of a YouTuber. I just come up and knock off my bizarre thoughts wherever. But thanks to the chat for making this such a great thing. Thanks to all the other guests for putting up with my nonsense. And thanks to the Admiral for indulging me and the other fans who thought it was necessary to go through this season, to see it through. Because, it challenged a lot of what Star Trek is and challenged a lot of other things too. But yeah, that's my final words.
All right. Let's go to JT. Where are you this week? What are you up to?
Oh, well, I already said I was on Dad Man's because I thought we were doing this about a half hour ago. So Tuesday I'll be on 9 Eastern on Dad channel talking sports ball. And then Wednesday I will be on with Dave C going through some Batman. So hope to see you both there, or all of you there at both of those shows. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Germ, Kaiju Party, what's going on?
We're taking a break from the kaijus on Monday. We're going to more American monster movies. So we'll be doing 1954's Them.
All right. Giant ants, you got to love it. Sean Carter, sir, what are you up to? Have you completed any models?
I have not. I haven't been out there in a few weeks. It's been a tough couple of weeks for me. So not up to much of anything. And I think Wednesday, I think we're going to be doing Back to the Future Part 2.
Okay, great. And as for me, I'll be back on Tuesday at my regular time, where I will be doing my show. And as for all of you, I thank you all very much for being here. You guys are the best. And you know what? Everybody have a great, and say, what did I miss?
Oh, I sent a message to the X group chat.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you want to share it or not. I'll leave it up to you.
Now I have to go look. Very controversial indeed, sir.
I think everyone here can see it.
I don't think I can share it on TV, but yeah, let's just say Hoshi is headed to the WNBA. Very controversial indeed. All right, well, you know what? It was great to have everybody by for a great Star Trek talk. And what can I tell you?
Sir, that was so controversial. Sir.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week for more Star Trek. You guys are the best. Take it easy. And you know what? In the words of Ozzy Osbourne, I love you all. Thank you so much for your amazing generosity tonight. You guys have been the best chat ever. And just before we go, we'll close out the poll. Good TV, good Star Trek wins the poll easily with 67%. Woo! Good TV, bad Star Trek, 23%. Bad TV, bad Star Trek, 5%. Bad TV, good Star Trek, 5%. How that person got to that conclusion, you get a guest shot on the show if you're the person who voted that one. I want to talk about how you could think it would be. I definitely want to hear how you arrived at that. It would be an interesting conversation. Anyway, as we get ready to beam out, I have a new feature here.
Incoming Sydney Sweeney video. Set burners to full. Lubrication supply sufficient for projected fapping level. Paper towels to standby. Turbo lift door secured and locked. Wives and girlfriend interruption probability at 12%. You may commence masturbatory actions at any time.
Hit it, Sean. I know you got it. All right. We all know what happens after
Can I
this.
finish, please?
There we go. There we go. Can I finish? We're going to have to find space for the soundboard for that one. Something else is going to have to go. I don't know what it's going to be. Wait, Sean, put your soundbite right now. Put, can I finish?
Okay.
Can I finish, please?
There we go. Set up and payoff in one soundbite. You know what it is? It's because of
Decent doesn't apply to me.
All right, everybody.
right.
Thank you so much for being here. You guys are the best. And we will catch you next week at 10 o'clock till 1 a.m. where we have the greatest Star Trek show ever. If you missed it, come back and watch it during the week. If you're watching this later, hey, I don't understand hype yet, but we like it. I guess I'll take it. And you guys are the best. Season 3 of Star Trek in the books for Enterprise. We're moving on to the final penultimate season. It's going to be weird because it looks like we will kind of wrap up Enterprise right around the end of the year, because with about 9 weeks left, 10 weeks left, we have about 14 stories. So what we're going to do is, no matter what, the week of New Year's, we're going to do the Cage, because that's when Star Trek will start. And we'll have our debate about that, and we'll watch that one. And then we'll go back to Enterprise to finish it up, and then we'll be doing TOS, the year of TOS, after having done the show that chronologically precedes it, technically. I mean, it's all fanfic from the moment we lose Gene, but you know what? It stays Star Trek until 05. I believe in the 6605 continuity, and I believe that we will have, a pretty good show in Star Trek United if they do it right. All right, let's check in on regular Spock. I hear he's watching stuff he's not supposed to. We hacked his security cam in his room.
That was so controversial. Sir.
Sure.
I like how he's big on crazy make Starfleet great again, like Admiral Teague, Space Patton. Seduces him to the dark side. All right, guys, here she is. You earned it. We love you. Bye.